Alrighty. Alrighty. All right, so the purpose of tonight's stream is to, well, check up on what's going on with the Thorps. So Ben and Grace Thorp did a stream on Ben's secret channel. Ben has a channel, and on that stream, he was planning on talking about the LA riots. Now, it's a 5-hour stream, and I tried to preview some of it, and it never. I think to get to the LA riots, we have to get to somewhere towards the end of the stream or something like that. You know, it's probably, oh yeah, we're going to talk about the LA riots, but what's more important is, getting into everything else. By everything else, I mean panel hopping. They talk about Adam Warchief. Oh yes, so apparently Adam Warchief and Grace are going to share an apartment together. They're going to share an apartment. That is what's being cooked. That's what's being discussed between Grace and Adam's dad. Okay. All right. I have questions. Lots of questions. But then we also, I noticed they were reacting to Ruby's stuff. I don't know how far they go and all that, because I understand that there's like a truce thing going on here between Ruby and Ben and Grace. Kind of curious how that plays out. Now, before I get into any of this, let me talk about myself real fast. Okay. So what you probably know is there's been something wrong with my eye for quite some time. By some time, I mean for 2 months. For 2 months, I've had this sort of like eye issue. Okay? I thought it was pink eye. I thought it was conjunctivitis. You know why I thought that? Well, the first doctor at the ER didn't know what it was. He flat out told me, I don't even know what it is. And which makes sense. He's not an eye doctor. He's just a doctor, I guess. I don't know why he couldn't even make a guess at his pink eye. But I went to the ophthalmologist, and they said, oh, it's pink eye. After looking at it for about 20 minutes or so and all that stuff. And then I go to my primary doctor, and they go like, oh, yeah, it looks like pink eye. It's pink eye. Okay. All right, so everyone is saying it's pink eye. Everyone is, right? And I'm prescribed medication. What am I prescribed? A lot of steroids. I got steroids and antibiotics, and they're like, take these. Okay, and I've been taking them. All right? But it has not cleared up. I'm talking 2 months, man. 2 months of this. I go to the doctor today, and what I find out is that what I actually have is a little thing called eye herpes. What? It's even worse. I don't even understand. It's not pink eye. It's not conjunctivitis. I freaking eye herpes. I'm like, what in the world are you talking about? Eye herpes? You can get herpes on your eye? Like, what in the world did I do? Did I go to some strip club or something, get blacked out drunk and started like trying to, I don't know, eye hump a chick? I don't understand. How do you get herpes in the eye? Did a stripper fart in my eye directly? Like a queef or something. Disgusting. But I don't know how this happened. He said, no, it's not an STD. Anyone can get this. In fact, if anything, it's probably the steroids you were taking, the eye steroids that triggered it. I was like, I was told to take those. Granted, I was probably taking more than I needed because, with medication, sometimes it's like, if I take a little bit more, is it more effective? Nope. So that's that story there. So I have antiviral stuff and antiviral and antibacterial stuff for the eye. Great, more of that stuff. I gotta take these pills, these giant pills, 3 times a day up my ass, just up my ass. I gotta shove them up my ass. No, that would be funny though, right? But yeah, there you go. That's a little bit about me if you want to know that. All right, so let's go ahead and I guess get started. I mean, any thoughts about this? Have you guys ever heard about this eye herpes stuff? One too many sniffs for the Brap King, right? Exactly. You ever jizz in your face? But I'm just shooting loads in my face here? Is that how you get eye herpes? Oh, have I been outed? Oh, I've been outed, huh? I just exposed myself. All right, I gotta confess, man. Guys, you know, things been tight to make some money. I've been going down to the local truck stop. You know what I like to do? I like to make sure those guys are happy. I want to make sure the truckers are happy so they get to their destination on time, you know? It's a lot of stress. You know, it's a lot on their shoulders, okay? They have a lot in them. They're backed up and they need to be released. And I'm like, just release it in my face. That's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I'm falling to bits. You sure don't have AIDS? At this point, you know what? I might. At this point, I might as well just call everyone I know and be like, I'm going to warn you right now. I got AIDS. I got AIDS. You know, I didn't even know it would ever happen. You know, I don't shoot up. And I've never taken a dick in the ass. But I got AIDS. Wow. Look at that. I'm proof that you can piss off God enough to where he'll give you AIDS. Clip that out. All right. So there you have that. Now, I hope you guys are good and comfy. Because tonight is going to be a kind of a long, yeah, it's going to be mostly Thorp's. I don't need to cover any Ricada stuff. His doozy's coming tomorrow, and I'm not streaming tomorrow. Unless it's to, like, stream snipe it, but, like, that's not even worthwhile. So, okay. So, reacting to Ben and Grace Thorp in their latest stream today on the second channel, Pugio Fede with Ben Thorp. Okay. All right, whatever. Let's go and check this out. It's Ben giving his thoughts on the LA riots. Okay.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. We are live on YouTube. Pugio Fide with Ben Thorp and kick.com/ThorpTube. And we're going to start our first stream this morning with a little open panel hopping.
It's actually not thoughts on the LA riots.
Not right now.
Oh,
yeah.
Corrected. It's Grace that we have to blame. It's not really thoughts on the LA riots. So why is it titled Thoughts on the LA Riots, Grace? Why is it called that? What are we doing here? Within the first 20 seconds, you were corrected by your dad that it's actually not Thoughts on the LA Riots. What you're doing first is panel hopping. All right, let's panel hop and talk about what are we getting into here today? Race stuff? Are we doing race? Oh, dude, let's do some race stuff.
I'm not sure what we would retitle this to, but we're about to hop on a stream discussing when YouTube beef ends in tragedy.
Oh, when YouTube beef ends in tragedy, like that the Manny and the Sin City guy. Yeah. Manny, Sin City, and Finney. 3 Finney. I got 3 Finney. Yeah. Grace looks high. Grin looks like Grin. Grace looks like a boy. You know what? I think I caught her Grin. I tried to combine Grace and Ben. Grin. That doesn't make any sense. What's wrong with me? Am I high right now? The new prescription I'm taking. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, Grace looks very boyish here. Yeah. Grace forgot her makeup. Well, I think she'll fix that right here, right now, live, okay?
We don't know this
Tragic
panel
beef.
at all.
And then we can see how many layers it takes to fix it.
Tragic beef. Yeah. Justine Bieber says, "Hey, fat dad." Hello, Justine Bieber.
Justine.
So we're gonna hop on this panel and see what's up here. This is
Let's see what's up.
let's see what's up. Let's see here. The Thorps.
Yeah.
All right, I'm
gonna
gonna
put
speed
some
this
makeup
up.
on.
Oh,
Dad.
I just.
Oh, why do that? Why do that kind of shit just to fuck with people? You know what I mean? And I'm sorry, I should have never put.
Oh, they're trying to hop on this panel. They don't know who the guy is. We don't know who the guy is, right? There's no like context. And the guy already sounds like he's talking. The host of this panel or the stream sounds like he's having a problem with people popping on.
Panel. I was gonna put the Discord panel. There's gonna be people that I don't know that's gonna be hitting the links too, man. And I just don't know what they're gonna do with the conversation, where they want to take it. Hi, how you doing? If you guys can give me about 20 minutes, I'll let you back up because I don't know who you guys are. Okay. Thank you so much, man. Because there's people that do porn bombings,
Yeah,
or there's people that come up here just to use the N-word and say crazy stuff. I just need to verify. So we'll just hit the link in 20 minutes and we'll have this conversation.
Okay.
So he has to vet him. So I don't think it's happening. It sounds like the guy's had a bad time. Might want to hop on a different panel.
So that's that. All right.
Well, worst comes to worst, 10:35. Well, unless people, I don't know what people are going to
Unless
tell
he
him.
gets born bombed. Hi, Diamond. Diamond is Adam's cousin, I want to say.
Ah.
Or aunt-in-law or something like
Where
that.
is she
Explained it to me
on-
once.
This part is important. I did preview this part, okay? Pay close attention. If we may have to hear this twice.
She's in California, Palm
Cali.
Springs.
Oh, on Kick, I mean.
Oh, she's not a streamer. Not right now. She might have made a kick, but I don't think she's
Grace, what are you talking about?
Sorry.
But the other thing is here, notice this. The way Ben and Grace really get into each other. Okay. A bad wording there.
It is Adam's cousin, I want to say.
Ah.
Or aunt-in-law or something like
Where
that.
is she
Explained it to me
on-
once. She's in California, Palm
Cali.
Springs.
Oh, on Kick, I mean.
Oh, she's not a streamer.
He's asking where is she on the screen? Where is she on the chat?
Not right now. She might have made a kick, but I don't think she's
Grace, what are you talking about?
And Grace thought, where is she like in real life? And like because she's autistic and doesn't know like what he's talking about. And of course Ben had to reel her in. Ben had to remind her, hey Grace, hey, focus, you autist, focus. Like where is she on the screen?
Sorry.
She's on the Kick chat.
Kick chat.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't realize.
Here's
that's what you
one
were
of the
referring
principles
to.
of communication. It's good to talk in a way that
That's
both
right. And because of that, now we're going to get a 20-minute lecture about the principles of communication.
sides of understand.
True.
Mm-hmm.
But
After 2
Diamond,
years.
Adam is coming to Rhode Island to split an apartment with me. Oh my god.
That's right. You heard that. Adam is coming to Rhode Island to split an apartment with Grace. I don't know how that's happening. Last time they interacted, it was Ben Thorp. Ben Thorp talking to Adam's dad. And pretty much before he talked to Adam's dad, he was saying these horrible things about Adam's dad and Adam's mom, saying how they don't like each other, they don't love each other, there's no respect for one another. Really seeing all this stuff out of turn, just saying all this stuff, just I think to rile up Adam's dad. But hey, somehow Adam's dad is like still cool with Ben to the point to where they want to entertain the idea of Adam staying with Grace in their own apartment. I think Adam's dad just sees a chance for Adam to get a girl. I think that's what that is. I think he thinks his son is so pathetic that he needs any sort of girl he can get, and Grace is definitely one of them. Definitely an option. I think he sees it as a viable opportunity for Adam to create babies. Okay, that's what I think. Maybe I'm too out there. But anyway, can you imagine that? Adam, Grace, babies.
Mm-hmm.
But
After 2
Diamond,
years.
Adam is coming to Rhode Island to split an apartment with me. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So like that is insane. So yeah, definitely if that happens, they need to put a camera in there, like Big Brother style or fish tank style, and just have that camera go 24/7. Okay, or for as long as they can. I mean, that makes so much content. You know, it's so great. Like that's what I want. I'm gonna see how they look, how they act, just living. That's what I want to see. Ben, Grace, listen to me. Do that. Put a camera in the apartment and leave it on. Just stream your guys living in that apartment. People will just watch. Okay? Great. They'll never listen to me. They think I'm an enemy. All right, let's do this.
Big moves.
20 minutes is crazy.
By the way, guys, a shout out to the chat. I can only really see with one eye. Really, honestly, it's sad. I think the other eye is getting messed up too. It's getting kind of blurry. When I drove to the doctor's office today, dude, I really could not see. So shout out to Hurricane Pyro, Jennifer H, North 7878, and W Pizdits. That's right. You know, Hurricane Pyro has been sending me stuff in Discord, like messages related to the Thorps. Good stuff, actually. And I need to do better at checking my Discord. I hardly ever check it. I'm in the habit of never checking it, honestly. Yeah.
It's a big process. Apparently, he's got 6 people watching. I mean,
What's he gonna do in 20? What's he gonna do in 20 minutes?
What's the big danger?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
We're gonna have this war about this.
No, set it
You
however
want it
you
like
want.
that,
Don't show
right?
my rolls. No, I don't want it like that.
Okay.
I just think that this is too much space above us.
Oh, Grace.
I don't care. Hey, man, it's your YouTube channel. All right, what else do we have here?
Let's try Glenn's again.
All right.
For example, I won't just tell you. I'm going to show you. A shout out to Hurricane Pyro for these following clips here.
Calendar years.
All right, this clip here is Grace Thorp embarrasses herself and gets called out by Ice Poseidon. So yeah, Grace Thorp embarrasses herself, gets called out by Ice Poseidon. This clip is brought to me by Hurricane Pyro. Okay. All right, let's check this out and see what happens here.
I've streamed over 60,000 hours. See you in court.
Okay. Anyone else?
I mean, I think EDP also streamed a lot of hours too, to be fair.
Yeah, for sure. They had him dead to rights. Not the same at all.
Grace is very silent right now. What is she going to say?
I mean, I have a pretty juicy one. People think that I have sex with my father or that.
Oh my God. Why bring that up? People are just talking about how long they've been streaming. Let's back this up. Read the room, right? They're all talking about how long they've been streaming, right?
Also streamed a lot of hours too, to be fair.
Yeah, for sure. They had him dead to rights. Not the same at all.
So that guy was just talking about how long he's been streaming, right? The length of time. And then Grace goes, "Oh, I have a good one." I guess they're going around saying something wild about them. That's what it is. They all say something wild about them. Okay. All right. Then I sit here corrected. That would be the thing that Grace is known for, right? Yeah. But I don't know, like, if they're so weird because it's like these two things cannot be possible. It's hard for me. It's like they don't want to distance themselves from this, from that history. You know, those allegations. but yet they want to turn it into a joke. But the problem is there's all sorts of content out there and documentaries out there that explore this relationship in a way that it's like you can't help but at the end of it all go, oh, it's not a joke. It's a sick, disgusting relationship that tore the family apart. Anyway.
I mean, I have a pretty juicy one. People think that I have sex with my father and or that he groomed and molested me.
All right.
That's a rumor. That's a rumor. It's not true, but it's a rumor. I've been dealing with it since I went online with him. So.
Why would
How
they
did
think
that
that?
start?
Because people are jealous and crazy and can't handle a father and daughter being close without making sexual assumptions. I think.
People say a lot of things out of jealousy. I've never heard someone accuse someone of sleeping with their dad out of jealousy. No, never heard that.
Think.
Yeah, W. Pizdits, yeah, great social skills. They could teach a class on how to be social.
I mean, do you guys be like snuggling and shit on stream?
Well, I mean, because we're kind of poor right now, we have to live in an RV in the back. So there's one bed, so people make assumptions.
Oh, you
but
definitely fuck your father. There's no way.
I doesn't even know her. It's like, you share a bed? Yeah, you definitely bang your father. Okay.
You live in the back of an RV? Okay, dude.
I'm poor. Yes, I'm poor.
Which, that in itself sounds like a joke. Like, man, I remember watching the old like Saturday Night Live skit, live in a van down by the river, the motivational speaker, the Chris Farley thing, you know? And if Grace plays her cards right, continues to eat all that Taco Bell and Burger King, she's going to become like Chris Farley. And she could probably give that motivational speech.
Poor, but
Does your father call you tits, funny chance?
But you're a girl. There's no reason to be poor. Just spread your legs on OnlyFans. I'm not being serious.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You're a girl. There's no reason for you. There's no excuse for you to be poor, Grace.
I'm thinking about doing it as a guy.
I'll subscribe to you if you do.
Same. I'll subscribe to you and
Look,
promote.
and Amrath will subscribe. And she's putting lotion on her giant melons. Which is a great show. I mean, that in itself is just a show by itself, okay?
And suck my own cock.
I love that.
Thank you.
I had a friend in middle school.
some people prefer to have dignity, but that's okay.
You sell your panties. You sell your underwear. You sell your underwear. How does Amrath respond to that?
Friend in middle school.
Some people prefer to have dignity, but that's okay.
Amrath doesn't even seem fazed by that. She's made so much money selling her body, selling her image. She's swimming in cash and luxury, right? I know she has like her weird drama stuff with her husband, which is wild, okay? It's like rich people problems, okay? I try to listen to some of it. I'm like, what in the world? These people are like, they live a totally different life. They're complaining about things. I'm like, what is going on here? Anyway, but yeah, she is not bothered, not fazed whatsoever. And Grace saying she has dignity. She licked her panties for Hormaxer for content. So, there's that. Because her dad told her to. Well, hold on. Her dad didn't tell her to stop it. Okay. Her dad did probably tell her it was a good idea. Because let's face it, Ben drives the content. That's the truth of it. Ben is the idea guy. Okay? Ben is the producer. Anyway. Yeah, great clip.
Wait, Sam, what? Say
What
that
about-
again.
Sam Bond, do you have any rumors? Are there any rumors about you?
Yeah, that I scammed Nick White. I don't know how everyone feels about
Is
that.
that true?
Yeah, none of these other rumors are going to compare to that. Grace just had to outdo everyone with that and got caught out by Ice Poseidon. So, there you have that. Way to make friends. one more clip.
The fact is, they
This one here is Grace Thorp tried to interject. Nobody cares, and they move on.
lost the weight. All that's the matter.
Oh, what a politically correct answer.
Well,
Hey,
at
Shaw,
least
you were a fat ass.
Now, nobody respects you. Take Ozempic.
I don't know what the answer was. Let me see if I get the context here.
The fact is, they lost the weight. All that's the matter.
Oh, what a politically correct answer.
well,
Hey,
at
Shaw,
least
you were a fat ass.
Now, nobody respects you. Take Ozempic. You're just lazy.
Okay, fat people.
at least
I
at
just
least
disagree. Not everyone's lazy. Not everyone wants to go to the gym, Paul. Paul, you would be having to go to the gym if you didn't eat like a ferret.
Grace is trying to get in word wise, but it's not happening.
You know that, right? So that's what's keeping you out of the gym right now.
Actually, when I was a bodybuilder, I'd eat like 5,000 calories a
Bodybuilder.
day, and I was never
Fuck
fat.
outta here.
I have a fast metabolism and good genetics.
Yeah, you do, but you don't eat. I watch you eat, dude. You eat your pasta like you're the Monopoly board character. You barely move anywhere, anytime. You know what your diet is.
What?
You go to the store, you get the littlest amount of shit. You get like a diet vanilla Coke, those little pickleballs. You don't have a fatty diet. You don't put ranch and sour cream on your shit. You don't fucking
I do.
dank on your shit. No,
I
you don't.
I had a 4
Well, she didn't even say anything. Wow. Dude, it's just like Grace is not even there. She had her Ava moment. She had her Ava on the whatever podcast moment. Wow. That sucks, Grace. It happens. Hey, but you know what? You're on that panel with popular people. I would have just been staring at Amaranth's titties the whole time, honestly. That's all I've been doing. Anyway, in fact, that's what I was doing watching that clip. Thank you so much for that, Hurricane Pyro. All right. Keep on doing that. He might get show producer status. Look at that. There's gonna be a writer's room for this for these streams. Anyway, once again, let's get cozy. This is gonna be kind of a long one. Do you have a drink on hand? Do you have a smoke? Get comfy. All right, here we go.
Wake up, Glenn.
Oh, wake up. You want me to call him on Discord? Maybe that'll wake him up.
Glenn, let's wake up, boy.
Let me call him.
Well, I don't know. Is it
He's
is
only
it
been
uncouth to wake someone up on their own stream?
Y'all will be streaming a lot, Diamond.
I think you have Sister Sarah. I really wish that was my sister
They should
Sarah.
stream the whole thing.
Whoever that is, nice.
Yeah. Kind of.
What's that mean?
She's a bit of a sarcastic troll.
Well,
Glenn did not respond.
No, Manu, you haven't missed much. Thanks for coming here, man.
Glenn is OUT out.
Glenn.
All right, Grace. Let's give an update.
They're going to talk about the LA riots, but the stream is not even about the LA riots. That's what Ben corrected Grace about, and then now they're panel hopping.
You started talking about Adam. You want to try to give an update, or do you feel like that information can be made public?
Yeah, no, it totally can be made public.
Okay.
I
great.
interact with Adam's father like 300% more than I do with Adam at this point.
Interesting.
And you guys may or may not know that I rent an apartment here in Warren that I have been staying away from due to
The neighbor, due to the neighbor, huh?
crazy neighbor,
Jacinda.
And
Jacinda, that's right. Jacinda does not like the Thorps. Jacinda thinks Ben is a creep. Yeah, she does.
my landlord's apparent refusal to protect me from her in any way.
How's your landlord going to protect you from a neighbor? That's a cop's job. What's a landlord supposed to do about that? Sounds like a civil problem. That's what he would say. I mean, yeah.
Well, let's just say that there was a situation in which you thought the landlord should have taken action, which he did not do.
Yeah.
What sort of action could the landlord take? You have a beef with a neighbor who doesn't like you. That's that simple. If you don't mess with them, If you don't antagonize them, then you should be fine. If they come to your place and harass you, that's a cop's job, not a landlord's job. A man who says he hates people called Jacinda. Jacinda is, like, when you hear it, you already know, right? What comes to mind when you hear Jacinda? Not a white chick, not an Asian chick, not a Mexican chick, a black woman. You know, it's just like that. It's a certain names. Like when you hear Mark, what's Mark? Mark's probably white. Okay. When you hear Maria, yeah, she's probably Hispanic. When you hear Katie, you're expecting a white woman, right? Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Do you want to go over the Jacinda stuff a little, just to get your feet back in that? Because you're gonna have to, if this happens with Adam, you're gonna have to like get into this.
Well, I kind of want to sell it more than I want to show the downsides potentially right now.
Well, that's sort of an upside, though.
Yeah, well,
I've always said that Jacinda would be an excellent content creator.
True.
But Jacinda doesn't want to create content with you guys. Don't cross that bridge. That's not a bridge to cross. That's not a bridge at all. Jacinda has like, it's no bridge. It is a flat out giant sign saying, "Do not interact." Like no Thorps allowed. Okay. Jacinda is a no zone. Do not interact with her, Ben, Grace. They're going to do that. They're going to have Adam there, and they're going to interact with Jacinda in some way. Maybe bum off their Wi-Fi like they've done before and do stuff like that. Okay. Yeah. That's what's going to happen. Oh, man. Just for the content, just to create the conflict. Hey, Fed Up Southern Girl, how's it going? The Thorp's always an interesting case study. That's right. Now, completely out of touch, people attempt to draw in anyone they interact with into their warped desire to be YouTube famous. Yeah. And the way Ben is talking right now, it's like it's almost as if he completely forgot that Jacinda actually thinks he is a PDF file. Because of the way he interacted with her daughter. But okay. Jacinda could be a great content creator. Okay.
If she can, this is like the problem with this is the thing, beef ending in tragedy. I do think, especially among black YouTubers, there tends to be a blurring of the lines.
Oh, she has to set aside her beef with you. No, man, Ben, that's not going to happen. Like, dude, the world's just not content. Dude, what is wrong with this man? Like, you crossed the line. Like, she was friendly with y'all for a while. But when y'all were staying with her, or whatever all that arrangement was, when you're interacting with her daughter, you crossed the line. And I don't think she's ever going to work with you in any sort of way.
Where it gets personal and people get violent.
Yes.
But
well,
Adam has the same issue, I think.
Yeah. Well, let me before we get into the Jacinda stuff, let me just give a broad overview. So, about a week ago,
Good morning, General Brandy Doe.
Adam, aka War Chief on Kick, called into our stream, I think. And
Makeup.
Yeah, and he
she's busy telling the story. Right, kind of focused on that, and Ben just tells her, "Hey, you're ugly. Put on some makeup." Let's hear that again.
Think. And
makeup.
Yeah, and he
just like that. Put on the makeup, girl. Okay. Right now, you look like a boy. Let's change that.
what was he talking about? Basically addiction, and you were talking about how he has pancreatic failure.
You're talking about when we met each other. When we first encountered Adam?
No, recently, like the last week.
Okay, so why don't you set it up that way?
I did say that.
That's what she was doing, Ben. I was paying attention. Grace was setting it up. Like last week, they were talking with Adam. Look. These two are back to doing what they do, right? Streaming together and trying to get along so they can run these things. except they can't get along.
When we first encountered Adam?
No. Recently, like the last week.
Okay, so why don't you set it up that way?
I did.
She did.
That.
You
I
just
did
said
say that.
Adam called in.
No,
When
I
was
didn't.
that? You know, I'm like, I don't know. What
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said
You're not paying attention, Ben.
I said about a week ago, Adam called into our stream.
Okay.
Practice listening. I did say that.
Okay. And whoa. We have this moment where Grace is actually, okay, talking to Ben that way. Okay.
You want to rewind the tape?
Hey, listen, I think that men are better at setting things up logically and giving context, and women tend to jump in and say, like, so then I was at this turn, and I turned left, and he was coming from the other place near the other thing. That's generally true. So
This guy just jumped in when she was setting it up and just totally bulldozed it. Okay. That's what Ben did.
maybe I've been so accustomed to just saying, like, I'm not going to be able to get a hold of this that I do miss it when it occasionally is.
Manu, Grace sounds like a 40-year-old hooker. Yeah, if you look away and like you hear her voice, you expect someone so much older, right?
I don't know what to say.
Okay, I don't care. I don't
Are
care.
we gonna have a down? Like,
No, I don't. Literally
the point
don't
is,
care.
let's be nice.
Okay, literally, I don't care. I'm just saying I didn't do what you accused me of doing. So about a week ago.
Okay.
Oh, what? So now Grace can't talk? Dude, like, how much? Dude, we're like 8 minutes, not even 8 minutes into this stream. It's a 5-hour stream.
Big C pics.
Do
Thank
you
for
have to say
subscribing.
that? Do you have to say that?
No, I don't.
Okay, so shut the fuck up. Let's just move on.
Okay.
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 Maybe I missed it.
Okay.
You could say, like, here's the thing. You broke.
Okay, now Ben, you need to let it go too. But I can barely talk right now, dude. I'm actually kind of very happy that this is happening. The dysfunction between them is so fun to watch, though. Okay, that's kind of part of the reason why, even when they're sitting down and trying to host these streams, what they're doing, okay, this stream that's about LA riots, but it's not about LA riots, right? It's like their dysfunction. It's like, actually, when I watched them when they do this, I'm like, okay, how long can they hold it together?
Throw me. You're supposed to go, oh, you may have missed it. I said about a week ago. Don't be so fucking defensive.
Okay.
It's unfeminine.
All right. Okay.
I just want to say, I did say that.
Okay. Okay.
But
Okay.
say it again. Do it again. Do it again. Right here. Do it.
not
Do
gonna
it.
say it again.
Say it again. It's just that I did say it. Just do that. Do that thing that these women do.
I'm not gonna say that. So Adam, a kick streamer, about a week ago, we met him in about a month ago, we met him in California. We had a whole arc with him. About a week ago, he calls into our stream to discuss addiction with my dad. Now, that conversation my dad and Adam have had before.
Is that what it was about?
I think vaguely. The conversation was generally about his addiction. And then you started saying there obviously are
I don't
problems
know,
with him
fed up girl.
living at
No,
home.
I think it had
Remember
to do.
that?
I think it had to do with
That's part of the fun.
what we had sort of stimulated a conversation about rehab, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Now they have to clarify this point, which is not that important. It's not that important. You guys can move on, but okay.
Or about like
Yeah.
his living situation not being a good one, because we had attempted to analyze what was going on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was like, I think he was calling in to say, you don't understand it. He wasn't
Yeah.
calling in because he was inquiring about alcoholism.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's like a follow-up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
And- yeah.
no, because we had analyzed him and his dad going out on a certain night.
Yeah.
We had done a deep dive.
And our conclusion
You don't
was,
really have to do that deep of a dive to figure out that Adam's dad, War Chief's dad, is a piece of shit enabler. He has an alcoholic son, and he provides him all the alcohol he can ever have, and he'll take him out to bars and get him drunk, and then afterwards be like, why do you act like the way you do? Why are you so wasted? Why are you doing this? It's like, you got him drunk, you dumbass. You know, it's like he creates the problem and then he complains about the problem when he's part of the problem.
was that he
Thank you, General
associates.
Brandito. Exactly.
Grace,
Fucking
please
back is
stop.
killing
Ben
me.
has enough stress.
Chill out, bitch. Okay.
And basically, we had said that Adam's
Thank you,
alcoholism
yes.
is associated with him being at home And like, and we came to find out he's never lived away from his parents.
Who's
et cetera, et
Austin?
Well,
cetera.
my main
Austin
thing
is
of
live?
that analysis was like, how is Adam's dad letting him have a fifth at home
Right.
and then going out with
Yeah.
him? Like, not the going out part being so wrong, but like this seems enabling, right?
Right.
And I understand
Right.
it's complicated, but I was like, that just seems like you should put your foot down. There's not enough like kind of putting your foot down.
Right. And Adam
So
was
he wanted to
arguing.
call in to say it's not about that. My dad's a great guy.
You know what, too? That was one of those rare streams where Ben was actually in the right. Because it's something so easy to be in the right about. And it's something so easy to spot and be like, Adam's dad, like, you need to put your foot down. You need to give him that ultimatum. You need to give him that tough love treatment.
It's alcoholism.
Mm-hmm.
And then I made the point that while you were in rehab,
Oh, yeah, we're on
alcohol still
1.2.
existed. You as
2.5.
as
1.5 might
full
be
civil rights.
We'll see.
Could have left rehab and gone and
Oh,
got booze.
there we
Right.
go.
And he didn't.
But you didn't, and you were super healthy. So like maybe there's a problem. It seems like there's an association, like mathematically,
Yeah, I could do 1.5. I could do that.
with like being at home and drinking. The only time you've not been at home, you weren't drinking,
Right.
and you were fairly healthy. Although I have like a lot of problems with rehab, but
Then, because you were saying that his dad was enabling, his dad actually came into the Kick Chat, his dad Joe, Adam's dad Joe, and asked to call in.
yeah,
So he called in on the phone and had a very, I would say, civil conversation with you, even though we had been kind of talking mad shit.
I was talking shit about his dad. Yeah,
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 and
you were.
I don't know if his dad had seen it, but
About
I
his
previously
dad,
Yeah,
about his
yeah.
mom.
the
He referred
analysis
to it.
stream. Oh,
he referred. Well, I don't know exactly what you're talking.
I was saying when I told Adam that his dad was kind of like a loser that he shouldn't take so seriously. I don't know if he saw that particular stream, but we had-
Well, I think my analysis was fundamentally that your parents are using you somehow to not deal with their own issues with each other. That your mother doesn't respect your dad, and your dad hates her for that. But like that, now they've taken you, your gay brother, everyone's lining up on one side or the other, and that this is not your issue. And I wasn't really saying that Joe was like a loser, but I was just saying like, just so yeah, I think we were trying to encourage him to like have a little bit less of a like worship.
Switch to the riots? Oh, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for Ben Thorp to talk about the riots. That's what I'm waiting for. Oh, we got more important things like this stuff.
Full attitude towards his dad.
yeah.
And understand that he's just a person. Maybe he has some flaws. Maybe those flaws.
I
instead
mean,
of
I can give you my thoughts on the riots right now. Hey, it's kind of messed up that they want to flip the shit, right, and wave all their country flags, but they're supposed to be living in America. It's kind of weird when you see a riot in America. It's America when they're waving other flags, other country flags. Okay, all right. It's like okay. Anyway,
being able to laugh at them or understand them, Adam is taking them as like he needs to defend his dad's whatever.
Yeah.
And
ego.
he should take it less seriously.
Right.
We weren't really Joe bashing, but we were doing some Joe bashing along the way. Okay.
So Joe calls in. Adam's dad calls in. He's like 60 years old. He's a millionaire. Okay, this is just
Yeah,
this
he's
is-
a successful builder. Yeah.
construction guy.
Yeah. True.
And he calls in, and my dad. I think you would say you were confrontational with him a little bit, and then Adam's dad basically says like, "Look,
I was just saying like, do you see the point? Your son's like, it's not like a minor thing. Your son is drinking heavily, has had pancreatitis to the point that he's been in the hospital for several weeks. And Joe, don't you think it would be worth trying something else? Like this isn't working. So maybe he needs a change of pace. Can't
Right.
you see that? Because wouldn't you hate to have something terrible happen, and then you say like, I didn't do all I could do. I was kind of
soft,
too soft. Yeah.
I think they already said enough of this part, but no, they want to explain even more.
And Adam's dad was like, "Well, I don't want to throw him out on the street because if he
Right.
dies out on the street, I would feel worse about that."
I would say that Joe was engaged in a kind of binary of either he's going to he's got to go to rehab, $15,000 a week apparently, which he said he was willing to pay, or he's got to be at home because the only
Dude, this is the part where like most streamers would be like, okay, if you want more, if you want context, you can check out that stream. But anyway, let's move on.
alternative is if I think he was saying if I put some lines here, I think Adam basically uses. I think he has experienced Adam using what Adam will do is go, oh fine, you reject me, I'm going to go get drugs, I'm going to go spend the night on Skid Row with a bunch of crazies in LA, and then Adam says like, okay, well I'm not going to have you do that. So
Adam's dad, you mean?
Adam's dad, maybe.
Yeah.
So Adam sets it up like if I don't have things my way, I will sometimes do things. Once I went to rehab But if I don't want to go back, I put you in a position where it's either like I'm on the streets and I'm going to spend like night after night, and he will do that.
Yep.
Right.
He will actually do it.
Or you take me back and I'll try.
Hey, here for the show.
And I understand that Adam's dad is like, okay, yeah, like that is how it goes. That's how it's gone. So he's not exactly being like a simp, because I do think Adam does do this, right?
Yeah.
If he feels even in the slightest rejected, he does like bottom out, and he doesn't seem to care about his life or anything, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
so I'm not
So
sure
it is a real possibility that even if you were to give him the ultimatum, like you either go to rehab or you go to the streets, that Adam may choose go to the streets. But Ben is going to over-explain even more about that because, we don't understand. He has to break it down. It's been 20 more minutes talking about this. And the juice had already been squeezed from the fruit. The juice was Adam is actually going to be living in an apartment with Grace? They're still working on that? What? Even after that little interaction you guys had on that stream? Wow.
exactly how it came about.
But then we turned the tables and said, like, what the fuck? What is Adam doing here? Why is Adam using his own life as like a weapon to force his parents to like be complicit in his
He
own
carries
sort of
the stream.
Right.
You like
Right.
that
Am I allowed to say
chess?
that?
Fed up
Yeah.
Southern girl?
Okay. Seems to me like you should be able to.
I think so. I know the kick is like sensitive about that stuff, but I think it's more like telling somebody to do that.
Mm.
Yes, and we also said, like, Adam, you should man up, and if you want to self-delete, at least don't do it in your parents' house, so your
Yeah.
mom has to walk in and find
Right.
you with the bottle, and she has to, like, kill herself for the rest of her life. Like, why didn't I do more?
And I didn't say this at the time, but I do understand why like rehab is demeaning towards especially men.
Why?
Well, and it's also cold, right? Like none of these people really care about you.
Oh.
They're doing a job.
Yeah, sure.
They're looking out for themselves.
Yeah.
Maybe some of them care about what they're doing, but it's kind of cold and clinical and sort of like it's a business. And
Okay. So instead of having him go to rehab, the better option is for him to go live with Grace. I like that.
It's also kind of this weird thing where we're saying like, it's like a fake reality where it's like you can't leave.
Manu.
It's a little bit demeaning to say like,
Man, you gotta think too how disgusting that cat has to be. Oh man, how disgusting her pussy has to be. I'm surprised he doesn't have herpes of the eye, but I'm the one who has eye herpes. How in the hell do I get eye herpes? Anyway,
it's kind of a fake kind of prison, right? Benevolent prison.
Mm-hmm.
That costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
And there is some truth to like, well, I mean, if you don't, ultimately, I mean, Adam's dad is right. If you want to kill yourself by drinking, there's nothing anyone can do to stop you. So
Right. But so the concept
rehab
of Adam
doesn't really work very much.
Yeah.
And the type of people it works for largely would clean themselves up anyways. But
So the concept
All
of Adam
right.
getting an apartment,
I'm a
because he's never
pirate
lived away
now.
from his parents except for when he went to rehab for 90 days, and he was 27 years old,
Yeah.
came up. And I'm not sure exactly how it got
like,
suggested.
I would say, Grace, like Adam has other problems other than just like drinking. Like, for example, we saw in our brief interactions with him, like he really doesn't have the ability to, or like has real problems doing minor tasks.
Yeah.
That someone who says they have a background in construction shouldn't have. I mean,
It's true.
And also, I would say even prior to that, like just a basic, like difficulty listening to someone giving him instructions. Okay, so in many ways, he looks like a spoiled brat. And I do understand when Joe says Adam doesn't have to work and neither do his kids. It's kind of like that's a kind of odd thing to say about your son.
Yes. Right.
Because it's kind of seeing work as negative. And I do sense a little bit of that from Adam's dad, that like he made it, he kind of succeeded so his kids could not have to have the tough stuff that he grew up with, right?
That's right. That's right. Part of the whole thing is like, dude, the fact that they're doing this on the stream where they're supposed to be talking about LA riots, Grace titled the stream wrong. Okay, blame it on Grace. Okay, but I like they're rehashing all these points. The other thing is that Ben had a problem. The fact that what Adam's dad made life so comforting for all his sons that they didn't want to leave. That they don't want to leave the nest. That sort of thing. Of course, they're not going to leave the nest. They're not going to leave their nice home, especially living in L.A. Nah. Going to keep that.
And I knew that I know that from teaching at Bishop Hendricken, which is a private school, private Catholic school, which the demographic of was almost it's not an elite school, so it's not like the people who've had multi-generational wealth.
Yeah.
Many of the parents were people who made it like in the concrete industry or construction or something like that, and rose from like relatively impoverished beginnings in like the ethnic ghettos to a point where they could send their kids to private school and they had a nice house in the suburbs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of these kids were spoiled.
This is 1.5.
And their dads
by
were
the
like,
way.
you know, I want you to have a good time if you drink. You know, and they were also like Irish and Italian, Portuguese, right? So they have this kind of like.
Let's if I go forward a little bit, are we still on this?
Sacrifice so you could have it. That's
Right.
Still on this.
came back from fucking World War II. That is some
Okay.
crazy.
Skip
They've
again.
got all this money. Things are good. They got the GI Bill. Like after what I've seen in fucking, you know what I mean? In we're kind of spoiled. That's the
And
boomer
They
generation.
become the boomers, yeah.
I'm not saying that's all of them, but like largely those are the kids who ended up at Woodstock, who ended up saying, you know, love, not war, and all that kind of stuff. So, and then you had a whole generation of like, you know, kind of Bill Clinton type people who I don't.
Skip.
That did not come from Adam. That came from his dad saying, like, that's how wealthy I am. That not only he would never have to work, but that his kids would never have to work. And what I'm saying is like that reflects a kind of certain types of drug and work develop.
Skip.
That
Just keep on skipping.
I think he's embarrassed.
I believe, yeah.
I think that causes him to drink. Okay. Now, I think he should blame whoever it is that's been like that didn't. I think that's a parental problem. But then at a certain point, when you're
We're gonna take a
27,
big
you have
skip.
to say like, you know, I really appreciate that. But actually, they might really resent you for that, and rightly so.
Dang.
If you've been
I skipped like 10 minutes. He's still talking about this.
actually sort of using whatever power and money you have to enable them to avoid the normal challenges
Skip
of
another 10
growing
minutes.
Right.
And it won't. Yeah, you can do that to a certain extent. And this is a beautiful thing. So OPC Don does construction, but he's a one-person company, OPC, and he's incredibly patient. So instead of spending $15,000 a week at a super luxe LA rehab, maybe send him to be an apprentice with OPC Don, and maybe make it worth OPC Don's while a little bit. You know, certainly not going to be $15,000 a month.
Wait, they're going to work that angle? They're going to try to get Adam Warchief to work with OPC Don to be like one of his workers? Oh, dude. Adam would have to be willing to actually work with his hands. He would have to be willing to work with concrete like that. Oh, man. Okay. All right. If y'all can make that happen. Oh, man. If y'all can make that happen, I'll do a special stream where I stuff my mouth with like 5 Whoppers in a sitting. Okay? I'll make them doubles. And I'll hate myself for doing that. I've been doing pretty good, blood pressure-wise and diet-wise.
And OPC Don,
Yeah.
a week, which is $60,000 a month. Maybe give him a little bit of money, but maybe OPC. You know,
Yeah,
whatever
that's Grace for you. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's all she could do.
you work that out. Make it worth OPC's while, but don't have him go there and go, hey, OPC, I'm good at construction. I want the kind of pay that someone who's good at construction deserves. Like, because then OPC is like, you really. Do you see what I'm saying? In a certain sense, that's better rehab because OPC doesn't drink.
Yeah.
Ben, you already made your point.
If he's got the car, like, I mean, you can't. If he's in the middle of nowhere,
It ain't no LA. You can't even order an Uber up there.
Yeah.
It's-
Remember earlier how Ben said men are better at setting things up than women are? I mean, he's proving the opposite here. Grace is much better at talking about this stuff.
It's the
It'd be
wilderness.
tough, and there's not like a lot of like druggies like on the street where you can just be like, yo, right? So.
It's like you can talk to the squirrels and the crayfish. That's
Yeah.
about it. And the liquor store
But
is like
my point
5
is,
hours
though,
away.
like my point, the rehab wouldn't be so much focused on alcohol, drinking or not. Would be just like saying like, okay, let's.
Hurricane Pyro, screw OPC. Oh, yeah, you might not like OPC, but wouldn't it be funny to have a situation where OPC is getting Adam to work to do physical labor? I would watch that.
Let's focus on like
OPCTE. Yeah, that's right. Oh, man.
construction. Like the doing of some work. You know what I mean? And maybe him having some success with that, because I'm sure every construction job has like relatively menial tasks,
Sure,
right? Like Karate Kid type shit.
Yeah.
You're just painting this thing, and then OPC does care about quality, so he won't just say like, well, whatever, I'll just have him paint something and then I'm gonna throw it out. He would say like, no, I want it to work for me, right? And that caring is something different. That's not rehab, and that's not just sitting there fucking up.
Yeah. So Hurricane Pyro has beef with I think Dalmatian and OPC because they stole the show from him, Low-Cal Rejects. But, you know, they did such a fine job of Low-Cal Rejects that they had was Spicoli on. And Spicoli said some wild things about Grace's 15-year-old daughter, 15-year-old sibling, or 15-year-old sister. I'm not going to repeat the things that Spicoli said. Okay. Now, in some ways, I'm going to say this. I kind of do like that Dalmatian Dog did allow Spicoli to really hang himself with by his own words. But man, any one of us would have just been like, all it would take is like for him to say 2 sentences in addition to what he had said and be like, you know, I think we heard enough. It's time to take you out to pasture, Spicoli. It's time to put you down. All right, we're gonna ODL to you right now, okay?
Yeah.
And OPC can talk to his dad and say like how he's doing, and OPC is very, very generous in terms of this stuff, very, very generous.
He refuses to get angry
and has an incentive. Obviously, his dad's a big builder, a big Lux builder, and OPC, you know, may want to have a relationship with him and may work.
We're gonna skip another 10 minutes.
And they can help make it happen by going on his Discord and encouraging it and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Well, hang on a second.
Because he wants to be a streamer, and he is manipulated by Chad.
Yeah. Well, can I make
to
another
the point where he almost
hold on. Wait.
do anything.
I've been. Stop texting Adam's parents is so weird. No, they text me. I don't want to get into it, but like, I'm not the one starting this shit. I do text Adam. He doesn't respond. But I want to make a point, okay, which is that Adam, people have branded him as like an unhinged IRL streamer, right? He gets shit-faced and he goes and starts shit. And like, hopefully the best content you can get from Adam is to end up in a fight.
Wait, can I say something to Brittany?
No, you cut me off all stream. No, let me finish.
Yeah. Let Grace talk, Ben. It's so much better when Grace is talking.
An idiot. I haven't got back.
Brittany, he'll get right back to you.
I really enjoyed our conversation.
Ben, shut the fuck up, Ben. Shut up.
So like a whole day, it really made my day, and then I've just been all this crap. Anyways, but
take that as a hint. If Adam isn't responding to you, well, his dad already confirmed he's coming. He has no choice.
No, but can I make my point, Grace, just very briefly?
Okay.
Ben, Grace has not even made her point. Grace, oh man, that clip we saw earlier when she tries to chime in with like Ice Poseidon and all them. She's used to that. That's the treatment she gets with her dad on her own streams. Now, granted, this is actually on Ben's channel here, so yeah.
Okay, this little tidbit, I think that it speaks volumes. Okay, so he's like, I do want Adam to come see you, but I want to fly with him to Florida. Must have some other business in Florida or family. And then I want you to come fly down to Florida to fly him up to Rhode Island. Okay, or Boston, whatever, you know, but eventually get to Rhode Island.
Sure.
So, and I do understand at this point why he would say like he needs like an escort every step of the way, like saying like Adam, the it's over there. Okay, but also you see here, I don't know, like a kind of babying going on, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, you could literally go to LAX, get him through TSA, and then just go like, and then have someone come over and even like,
guys, I don't know about you, but I need a shot of vodka to listen to Ben further. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a shot now. I know how to take shots for every 10 likes. I'm gonna just go ahead and do it now.
Say like, okay, you got to go to this gate, get him on the plane. They'll come back to you if you say he's like impaired or whatever.
Yeah.
And say like, we got him on the plane, and then have you on the other end, or if he wants like a limo driver who
Tell you what,
say like, Adam,
it's going to be that combination of the Jaeger and the vodka together. That's what it's going to be. That's what I'm going to need here. Okay, the atomic Jaeger.
Come up, right? I mean, but he's like, I don't trust that he can do that.
Well, he has changed his mind on that.
Oh,
because I can't fly. So he's just going to try to send him directly over.
Okay, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
I do get your point.
I'm saying even getting, it really is the type of way that you would talk about a kid who's like 8 getting on a plane.
It's true.
Like
yeah.
I don't want him to freak out. But like I flew on a plane when I was 8.
By yourself?
Me and my brother. I remember Allegheny Airlines. It was super fun. They give you a little like thing, and the hostess was like totally nice. You know what I mean? Because they don't want they definitely want kids to feel comfortable.
Blah,
But I mean,
blah,
that's
blah, blah, blah,
Adam's. I do believe you said like, that's
blah,
about
blah,
Adam's
blah.
maturity level. And his dad's not wrong to say like
Loves
at
to
this
hear the
point.
sound of his own voice.
But you see how it's like a kind of this has been going on for a long, long time.
Ben,
right?
just yapping,
Where it's
yapping,
like,
yapping.
Okay, but if you keep treating him like a kid, he's going to keep acting.
I think
like a
we
kid.
got the picture.
But on the other hand,
Understand, Ben.
he has a brother who's very, very successful at a job and is able to perform perfectly fine. So
This is
the
why
formula
Courtney
works.
was
And
driven to drinking.
Natman, thank you. For
So
giving
that's
us
why
up.
I'm drinking.
Thank you, Natman.
But you know what I mean. But like, if you
Don't
protect your
tell
kids from
my
challenges,
doctor.
they're never going to be able to mature. This is the problem in our society, largely with young people. A lot of people go, "Oh, it's young people today," and it's like, well, okay, but you're protecting them from the things that are going to help them to grow up.
Oh
Like,
man,
when I was a kid, you know, and I know this is a thing, like when I was a kid, but I'm just saying, like, largely we were left to hang out in the neighborhood on our own, and they were like kind of like weirdly gangsterish people.
give it another 10 minutes.
There was a pedophile
What?
who I saw.
You? What? Oh wait, he wasn't talking about himself. Okay.
Like, I was like, wow, he's shaking a lot. He's peeing and then shaking a lot after peeing. There were bullies. Like, I remember a bully. I think I told you the story before.
Wait, what? There's a story. He's in his neighborhood. Growing up, there was this PDF file who was peeing in public and he was shaking. What? I do want to back up and hear that again.
On our own, and they were like kind of like weirdly gangsterish people. There was a pedophile who I saw. Like, I was like, wow, he's shaking a lot. He's peeing and then shaking a lot after peeing. There were bullies. Like, I remember a bully. I think I told you the story before. There was a bully who like there was a retarded kid behind me. He wasn't like severely retarded, but like this bully was throwing huge rocks, like stoning this retarded kid, and no one did anything about it. You know, like throwing a huge stone at a retarded kid. I was like, that's terrible. I didn't go out and do anything about it, but my mother's like, no, don't worry about it. It's none of your business. I was like, really? You're like stoning a retarded kid. Like, what did the retarded kid do? Nothing.
Right.
And this
Wow, that's wild. Wild story, Ben. But what does that have to do with like Adam and all this stuff? What the?
This guy was like this bully guy was like, crazy. That's crazy. But anyways,
Yeah.
we had to learn our way of doing it.
Yeah. There's crazy people in the streets doing crazy shit, right? Yeah. All right, you guys didn't do anything. Nothing at all. Didn't even want to call the police or anything like that. Yeah, not going to. Okay, sure. Yeah, okay.
Doing it. And I remember being at another, like, again, Irish, but these friends we made with on the other end of the neighborhood, they were called the Kirkpatricks. And the dad was one of these guys that's like, and he's like drunk all day or whatever. And then he had two sons. We were friends with the younger son. They had a pool, so we would go over there. And like the older brother.
Okay, I really think Grace is zoned out at this point, right?
Sadistic. And he enjoyed putting my older brother's head under the water until he almost died. Like he got off on that. It was like, it was like and it was crazy because he was holding his head down there like way longer than was like just fucking around. Like this kid was sadistic.
Yeah.
But
it's crazy.
yeah, you just learn, and I kept my
Does
distance.
Ben
I
even
de-escalated.
remember
But
what
even my
the
older brother,
point
like,
of all this
and
is?
this was in a fairly wealthy town.
I
There
don't
were some
think he
crazy ones.
does.
There was a woman who was stabbed to death 72 times.
He's
An
just
old woman, like, right up the street, and
talking.
we knew the people
He
who
loves
hung
the
with that
sound
guy.
of his voice.
Damius gifted 2 subs. Thank you,
learn.
Damius.
Our neighborhood was on the side of a highway. Like a
Maybe
big
he has
highway
early
before.
dementia. He's rambling.
And we used to like rip through
Hey,
the
the thumbnail
fence
is on point
and go
today.
sliding down.
Are we going to get to the LA riots? No, instead, Ben is going to. You know what's more important than the LA riots? Ben's rambling.
Like a concrete waterfall that this creek was directed through on our asses, like right down into the concrete and cut our feet up and stuff like that. And when the river swelled, we would just like go walk down it, and it was super scary. It's like water's super dangerous, but there's no other way you're gonna learn,
Yeah. So your point is, kids
And
these days
parents
don't
now,
learn?
like, no kids do that shit in that neighborhood. They don't do it. They,
Yeah, even Grace was like, I got to remember what he just said. Like, yeah. Kids these days don't learn. Yeah. That's right.
The fabric of the fence is never penetrated because kids, they're all in like organized classes, and then we wonder why they lack moxie, why they're so afraid of everything. Okay? And when I was a tennis coach briefly, or for a couple of years I was a tennis coach. I was a bad tennis coach, but I was the JV tennis coach. And so our tennis courts were used by the varsity, of course, right? But there were like municipal tennis courts nearby that let us use their courts. And they were about a mile away, and I was like, oh, perfect. So that'll be our warm up. We'll run through the neighborhood to the municipal courts, and then
Gotta
we'll run
light
back.
up a smoke
Parents can pick you up,
now.
or they could pick you up from the municipal courts. But there was a big road, not a highway, but like a fairly big road. But I'm like, okay, you're teenage boys.
Skip another 10 minutes
for him so we can keep him from wandering off. And the closest liquor store
Wait. Grace is talking.
I had set up chairs back there. Remember, there's a creek down where you can like hang out by the river. You have access to the Atlantic Ocean with the kayak, and it's a dual kayak. You have a tandem bike, a dual kayak.
Oh my god! And I'm
A
also
boat if you
buying
wanna get it going.
a leash and a collar for him so we can keep him from wandering off. And
A leash and a collar for who? Adam or for your dad? Maybe both. Why not? Right? Well, your dad's not going to wander off, so I'm guessing Adam. Okay.
the closest liquor stores are like a half hour to 45-minute walk away. So
True.
if he wants
Maybe
to
you
go
could
get
a beer.
booze,
Can you get a beer at that convenience store?
Yes.
No, you can't sell
Rhode
liquor
Island,
and you can't
even
sell
do
alcohol.
beer.
No, in convenience stores. No.
Yeah.
What? Is that a no? Is that a Rhode Island thing? What do you mean you can't get beer at a convenience store? They're supposed to be convenient. You're supposed to be able to go there and get a beer. In fact, if anything, they're supposed to have those like troughs of ice where you get tall boys. So you go back in your car and you obviously don't drink and drive. But I mean, you know, here in Texas, they have these giant troughs of just beer on ice. The biggest tall boys you'll find. The mega ones, the mega cans. They'd be like, want a bag for that. They know what you're doing. You don't get that in Rhode Island?
Yeah, so it's weird. It's like almost
So,
dry town in that sense.
Yeah.
And there's a
you know what? That cannot be even true. A small town thing, no booze delivery. Huh? Is it like a? Huh? That's weird. Is it like a dry county thing, or is it just like? Because they have liquor stores. That's weird, man. So they're not cool with booze at the convenience store, but they're cool with incest. Huh. Okay. Priorities. Got to keep the family bloodline pure. You don't want them to get drunk. All right. Gotcha.
there are a lot of resources for addicts here that seem to really work because it's very low crime.
Yep.
I've never seen anyone dealing drugs. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure there are people, but like,
yeah,
they're not like street people. Like, you can't just go like, okay, well, there's the drug dealer.
No, it's an incredibly small town. He'll be known around the town.
It's the smallest town in the smallest state
of the United States.
of the United States.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's the smallest town in the United States.
No.
We went to that town. It's called
Midfield, Texas.
Midfield, Texas.
That shit was tiny.
There is nobody there.
There's like 5 people.
Midfield.
But all they do is drink.
Super
Ironically,
tiny.
So
Yeah, no. Do
entire
not
town-
take Adam to Dorothy's
the entire
corner.
town is
Do
just-
not.
But you know what? They get their booze from a convenience store like civilized people, okay? That's what they do.
They're at the oil refinery, and then they're drinking. I mean, they're a great group, but like, this is not a place for an alcoholic to be.
No.
And maybe it is, but like.
So I think it's going to be great. I'm honestly very excited for this. I think it'll be really funny. It'll be
And
like a
interestingly,
kind of sitcom thing.
Interestingly, the police department is way too big for the town,
Yeah.
but they're sort of benevolent. You know, I mean, they're super heavy-handed, which is totally against the Constitution. But
All right,
that
let's
might work out because
skip.
they'll get to know him.
Saw the Ava doc and realized how boring you might be, then returned rambling.
That's
the
actually
Ava
true.
doc actually did make us both made me extremely self-conscious, and I
Me
was
too.
like, "Fuck,
Yeah.
we have a
Really? It didn't work? Because you guys have been rambling. By you guys, I mean your dad. I couldn't watch the Ava documentary. I tried. You know, my job here, if you want to call it a job, is to react to the Thorps and Thorpe-related stuff. But that was too much. That was too much of the same rambling nonsense over and over and over. I was like, I got to tap out. I can't do it.
terrible
It's
chemistry."
a we problem, not
Yeah.
a you or I problem.
So, I don't think that's gonna work. But I don't want to be the star. I just I just want to be like Gila and Ethan, except
Okay,
Gila's a
let's
retard.
just keep like I think this meta going back is like a huge part of the problem. Let's just come up with quick shit and then let's just hope we can get some more energy.
All right, so the new thing is $5 per $1
today.
per minute.
We're hoping for tomorrow to get TTS.
Okay.
Or today, it's not $1 per minute because it's all subscriptions, right? We don't have.
Well, you could Cash App or Venmo if you wanted.
Okay, fine.
$1 per 1 minute, Ben.
No, to shut either of us up.
Oh, okay. Silence either host.
Oh, okay. So they're going back to that now. You donate and they'll shut up for a minute. Okay. We'll see how that works. One more like away from 10 likes, and then I'll take another shot, man. Hey, Provo, how's it going? How bad did your pink eye get? Well, it's no longer pink eye. It's eye herpes. And the eye doctor was like, it was probably, it probably started because of the eye steroids you've been taking. I guess you could take too many of those things. You know, it really, while it looks like pink eye, it doesn't have like the discharge and that weird goop stuff. It doesn't have that. Just very sensitive to light. Very sensitive to light. And like in the beginning there was like this intense pressure. That has faded. Maybe I just got used to it. And then like this constant fatigue. Now this is something I probably shouldn't share with you guys, maybe a little too much. If I just sit somewhere and I'm just like I just close my eyes and just quiet for a little bit, dude, I'm just gonna go to sleep. It like throughout the day, throughout the freaking day, like super low energy. It's like it is zapping me. I think it's like this eye is really messing me up. It really is. You know, with the eye patch? Yeah. Did I time off work? No, man. You know why? I got to reach my productivity. I want my bonus check. I want my $300 bonus check. So I'm not taking time off. Dude, no. In fact, if anything, I go to work meetings right now. I've been wearing my sunglasses inside everywhere. I'll go to work with an eye patch on. That'd be pretty cool, man. Put a mask over it. Yeah.
Oh no, okay, so you want to do it for me only?
No, I don't care. No. I'd like to
No,
have a
just me
cigarette
only.
break too.
No, because I want you to be here when I'm here. Uh-huh.
Well, I want you to be here while I'm here. I don't want to monologue. I'm not a monologuer.
Oh no, you were good at that one.
Grace, you could be a monologuer. Dude, Grace used to just vibe with the chat. Long eye COVID. Yeah, at this point, yeah.
And remember at the early that formula worked. Remember when I left and you would just talk shit for 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Because you were like, oh, the little precious little female. Oh.
Yeah.
All right,
okay. So we're gonna try to go on this.
Yes, Damius. Why don't you
So they're going on another panel. What's even more important than LA riots is panel hopping.
Bitch, Damius. Say you'll give her $100 if she gets working TTS by tomorrow.
I don't know if they ever do talk about the riots.
Hells yeah. Where was the one that we were on?
Let's do that.
Well, I had
forget it.
No,
Let's go back to Glenn.
it's done anyways. I had paid TTS and nobody used it, so
Glenn.
I didn't. It's over.
Damn it. Live.
Yep.
They do
Punishment
eventually.
lock. No, that's not for this channel. Okay.
Okay, can I make a point? Searching for my new methadone clinic. Okay.
How do I do this? Here we go.
So she's going to walk around on camera and go to her new methadone clinic, and that's not like I have no problem with doing that, but you can't accuse someone of doxing you if you do that.
I doubt she's actually walking
Let's
from
take a
clinic
look,
to
Grace.
clinic.
Come on, get a fucking life.
The fuck are you telling me to get a life for?
Don't be so
horrifying
rigid.
experience where I was in there in like peak fentanyl and methadone withdrawal, and they didn't give me a fucking Tylenol.
Can you pause for a second?
I was suffering.
No, I do appreciate that Ruby says fentanyl. Oh no, she does it wrong. It's fentanyl.
Yeah, it's fentanyl.
Everyone says fentanyl.
Fentanyl.
It's fentanyl. It's not fentanyl.
I think right
Yeah.
there she
I
said
do appreciate
Tylenol.
that Ruby says-
What did she say?
Fucking Tylenol.
Can you pause for a second?
I was suffering.
No, I do appreciate that Ruby says fentanyl.
She said Tylenol. She's talking about Tylenol.
No, she does it wrong. It's fentanyl.
Yeah, it's fentanyl.
Everyone says fentanyl.
Fentanyl.
It's fentanyl.
It's not fentanyl.
No one cares.
It's fentanyl. YL, not fentanyl.
Damien says, I'll do it 100 if you get paid TTS. Let's go.
By what time? By what time?
By the way, I did catch this. I did catch Ruby's walking around stream. I do like that Ruby has some self-awareness to know that, like, that she's the one who messed up by, you know, reacting the way she did. Throwing condoms everywhere, the iced coffee everywhere, you know, that sort of stuff. Flipping out when they denied her methadone. Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Okay, sure. It's easy work. It's light work.
Don't tell me that. That's going to make me furious.
Why would that make you furious? You've literally never mentioned TTS before now.
That is totally not true.
Well, not since I got it up last time and nobody paid for it. I'm sorry. I was just like, well, I added it to OBS and nobody.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, you're talking about Grace. The only time you really liked her was when she interacted with chat. Of course. Grace is doing that. Grace is good at doing that. Grace is a good streamer. I don't know why she's been like really bending the knee to her dad, like letting her dad take charge. That's not the way.
Use this. I was like, okay, well, whatever. People don't really use this for us. Anyways, I was wrong. I'll put it back
You're
up.
such a liar. Okay.
Methadone.
No, we had TTS, but not the
But
paid
okay,
version.
now I'm going to say so. I want to be careful because I do want to like rebuild the bridge with Ruby.
Mm-hmm.
But here she's describing a scenario where she was in a clinic
Mm-hmm.
and no one would give her the drugs she really needed.
Mm-hmm.
Now that is the exact scenario her brother was in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a weird. Let me ask.
Wait,
this question.
guys. Wait, hold on here. This is the time. If someone was with the behind, whoa, time out, Ben. Time out. I thought you were trying to have a truce, Ruby. You mentioning her brother and talking about her brother's business and stuff isn't going to help the truce. Dude, that truce is not going to last us a week. Okay.
Do you think that's a scenario that makes sense?
Do I think that is
What's
a
your
scenario
analysis?
that makes sense?
Does that happen? I mean, like, you could say it's just coincidental. I just think that's a really rare situation to be in because if you are compliant, do you know how low the bar must be for heroin addicts to get methadone? Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. They really want to.
I don't know, Ben. I'm not a junkie. I don't know, and neither are you. I don't know how low the bar must be for them to get methadone. I know nothing about that. None of us. Hey, chat. Does anyone know? I guess if you just say you're in recovery, whatever, they'll just give you methadone or something. You know. And is methadone even good stuff? Does it even get you high? I don't even know anything about that. I wouldn't know.
Want to put them on methadone.
And these clinics are like not only are their jobs, but like they're also I think for profit. I think they use like for profit clinics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so the clinic has every incentive to distribute methadone,
Mm-hmm.
and they have the disincentive of course is if they distribute it and they're aware that the person they're distributing it to.
Oh, you're banned. You're banned from the chat. Fed up Southern girl. That's sad. In this chat, no one gets banned. That's my new rule. No one gets banned. I can deal with that. And I also have no mods. No mods, no banning. If you see someone with mod status, they only had it because they're going to share a link to me. That's it. They'll share a link, and that's all they're supposed to do. That's right.
Using it illegally, then or ends up dying from like ODing on it, which is a possibility with methadone,
Mm-hmm.
then they'll be sued. But like the policy of the government is like we'd rather have methadone zombies than fentanyl junkies because they're way more dangerous to themselves and others.
Of course.
Right? And methadone does zombify you. It's a very powerful opiate.
Mm-hmm.
Does it now?
But
I don't know.
It rarely kills you. It's hard to OD on. It's more of like a stable opiate,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Than the shit that you get on the street.
Yeah.
Plus, it's controlled by the government, so it's much safer.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be spiked with stuff. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I think it's hard to fuck that up. And I was in a place where methadone is distributed like candy, which is in the Adult Correctional Institute. And they even, like the guys told me, like, if you want to get methadone, you absolutely, all you have to do is request it. You fill out a form. You don't even need to say you're a heroin addict. They'll give it to you. Okay. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Maybe you have to say it's for a reason. But like, they love it because it turns everyone into a zombie. But there were people.
It's kind of cute though. You think about it. The only sort of, you know what? If you're a junkie, if you're a heroin junkie, fentanyl junkie, you know what? You can get that stuff off the street. Yeah, that's illegal. Or you can go to the clinic and get what the government will prescribe you. You know? Sounds like a racket to me.
At the, like, you know, with the med line, right? That you have your meds, like, okay, and they check it off, okay, and it's a little window.
Yeah.
Who caused problems? There were people who caused problems in that line, but most people were like, you know, they were like junkies. And we used to drive, for some reason I used to drive, maybe when I was going to grad school, drive by this place in Boston where this methadone clinic had this line always at the time I was there, and it was like down the block and over, and it's all people trying to get methadone. It's free. Okay, and like, and these are a bunch of junkies, but I bet there was very few problems there because they all, you know what I mean? When you're at this point where you're a...
Is it free? They'll just give you free methadone. It can't be free. There's a catch. You can't just go in there for free. What? Otherwise, all these junkies would be lined up to get the free stuff. I mean, why did they have to give head for some smack when they can just get the free stuff? That doesn't make any sense to me. It's a maintenance drug? Yeah, that's what I've always been told. That's what I thought anyway. Wow, one day we're going to have to watch a documentary on methadone, okay?
Methadone person. You understand, I got to stand in line. It's like welfare, you know what I mean? It's like, I got to stand in line. As long as I stand in line and I'm compliant, I'll get my fix.
There might be a very quick 10-minute AI voice documentary that can get us to speed real fast.
Right,
and you will.
Yep.
It's not hard. So how does it become hard? How does it become hard?
You misbehave.
How does it become hard, Ben? I mean, you wouldn't know. Rumor has it your penis doesn't work. Oh, wait, you weren't talking about that.
But I mean, all it is like, take this stuff. Don't take more, don't take less. Don't stick it in your pocket and go sell it. And we're going to do this till you're dead, if you need to. We're not going to up it. But we want you, like our society has said, and I don't know that I disagree. I don't know that I agree. Like, better to have a whole class of zombies.
All right, guys. Class. Guess what? Get ready for an education. 2-minute neuroscience methadone. Okay, let's watch this.
Methadone is best known for its use in the treatment of opioid addiction, although it can also be used for treating chronic pain. It's usually administered by mouth in the form of a liquid, pill, or sublingual tablet. Methadone's primary mechanism of action is as an agonist at opioid receptors. In other words, it activates opioid receptors similar to the way other opioid drugs like morphine would. It also acts as an antagonist or blocks NMDA glutamate receptors, which is thought to contribute to its pain-relieving effects.
Okay.
Because it has a similar
so that way it can help with the pain involved in the withdrawals.
Mechanism of action to other opioids. Methadone causes enough stimulation of opioid receptors to reduce cravings for other opioid drugs and to prevent a patient from experiencing withdrawal symptoms. Unlike most other opioids, however, methadone typically only has to be administered once a day to achieve these effects. Additionally,
methadone is long-lasting.
Methadone occupies opioid receptor binding sites, which diminishes any effect administration of another opioid might have, further discouraging someone from using other opioid drugs while taking methadone.
Okay.
Altogether, methadone's pharmacological action lowers the likelihood.
So that makes sense. So the methadone will just sit right there on the receptor. It won't leave. It'll be right there, right? So if you were to take any other opioids, like you're not going to get anything out of it. It'd be a complete waste.
A patient will abuse other opioid drugs. Since methadone has a similar mechanism of action to other opioids, patients also often become dependent on methadone, and some may need to take the drug for a prolonged period of time or even for the rest of their life. Because the drug is administered by a medical professional, however, doses can be controlled, and the risk of fatal and non-fatal overdose for someone on methadone is much lower than for someone who continues abusing opioids. Additionally, methadone treatment is associated with a reduction in intravenous drug use, and thus a lower risk of contracting bloodborne diseases like HIV.
That's right. There you go, guys. We had our little education. It only took 2 minutes for that. Not even. Ow. All right, Ben, continue.
At taxpayer expense, basically, than to have this street thing going on with heroin. It's too many people dying. It's just too dangerous. I think it makes a certain amount of sense, but of course,
So they're not using methadone to get high. You're not getting high off of methadone. The same way you would if you were to like shoot up heroin.
it doesn't disincentivize you to be this kind of zombie, which is certainly an unhealthy situation to be like an opiate zombie. There's whole realms of life that you can't experience.
Well, of course, Ben doesn't know what he's talking about. You know?
Your opiate receptors are constantly getting like...
Triggered?
No, are getting like...
Fed?
Fed by...
Oh, we got 10 likes.
Sure.
Right?
Come take a shot.
It's like, you know, obviously it's...
So your point is, Ruby must have done some...
All right, Chadley, choose vodka or Jaeger, or a combination.
She must have behaved pretty badly to be cut off from the system, or for people in a hospital or a clinic to deny her drugs. They want to give.
It just seems to happen in this family. It's the exact same way about this exact same drug. So you get this, and I'm not like, it's nothing to do with her older brother. I'm just saying, like, I'm just curious because, like, so you get involved in street drugs. No one pushes you into that, right? You may say it's environmental or whatever, but like, okay, you did that. You are partaking in the most. Everyone knows at this point, opiates are the most dangerous drugs you can take because they shut down your like respiratory system at a certain point, and fentanyl is the number one most dangerous drug. Okay, and a lot of people get into it. Okay, but then you say, okay, I don't want to quit, but I want to go to this zombie level thing.
Sounds like it's gonna be both.
It is free.
Yep.
Hey,
I'll take the deal of like a little.
Hey, D-Rod, I don't know if I've seen you in the chat before. Hey, welcome. I like to make sure everyone feels welcomed here. Juice is cool. Manu's cool. He's been around for a long time. Hurricane Pyro, he's cool too. Some very cool clips. Fed Up Southern Girl, I've seen her before. D-Rod, brand new here. Okay. All right. Hope you guys are enjoying this. Definitely a combo. Yeah, okay. So combine the vodka and the Jaeger. All right.
A little bit less of a high for the stability, free. Okay, but the price of that is you've got to be compliant. You can't fuck around with it. Why would you want to fuck around with it?
It's a good question.
I mean, how would you get in this place where you're just like, I hate you? You know, why? It's weird.
It is
it's
weird.
Odd.
It is weird.
Seems like,
right.
Okay, you know.
Well,
like,
she wants to mess around with the methadone because to help her get off of all the other stuff. That's why. That's why she's doing it. And you know what? Ruby might have to be on methadone for the rest of her life. I just learned that from that little 2-minute video, Ben.
Like you're being given free, clean,
you've been lurking?
high quality drugs in an attempt to stabilize you from what is like almost what is seen, and I think wrongly seen, as like a kind of like near like almost inevitably death of being hooked on this even more intense opiate.
Right. And they want to give you this, and they're doing it for free.
They're incentivized to give you it within certain parameters, of course.
Yeah.
But you end up in a situation where you jeopardize it repeatedly because you want it on your terms, not their terms, and you think it's, you know, degrading or something to have to like do it by their rules.
I know we have a truce with Ruby, but I do think she wants attention, and so she takes a little bit less methadone than she's supposed to, and she brings the bottle in with a little methadone left, and then they're like, "Well, you're not doing what we told you to do. Why would you do any of that if you don't want some kind of an attention?"
Let's say the people in jail, right? Like the people in the adult correctional institute.
Okay, that right there, her like using less methadone than what she was prescribed. It sounds like to me she wasn't really quite clearly communicating that with the doctor there. it's like, I'm trying to wean myself off this, trying to do better. I don't want to be dependent on it. That's what I'm trying to do. I don't really know much about Ruby, but what I do understand is she's not really good at communicating that. Anyway, this is a shot for the 10 likes. Thank y'all so much.
To where I was, or whatever it was, intake where I was. Mm-hmm. The women giving the methadone pills or whatever they were.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
They don't they want it to be smooth. Mm-hmm. They're not there to cause you problems. You're just a number to them. They're behind a window and they're just like, right?
Wednesday.
So how does this cause problems? But if you fuck around a little bit, yeah, they will say now we've got a problem relatively quickly. Mm-hmm. But that's true in this situation. And I think when you go to a methadone clinic, it's a little bit like being in jail. It's saying all right, I'm not really a member of society. You know that. I know that. I'm a junkie looking for an approved fix. So they know these people are highly unstable. And yet I don't hear about there being massive incidents at methadone clinics.
Been saying this, the only thing I think of is when was the last time you showered? Because the hair is extremely greasy.
I'm sure there are some, but if there's one place where a junkie is going to feel okay, I'm going to follow the rules, it's in a methadone clinic. No. Free drugs!
Most of the time, yeah.
How hard is this?
But then you have to ask, why are they a drug addict in the first place? They have problems.
Yeah, but if heroin is your drug of choice, usually you're not someone who... Well, it's weird because...
How many heroin addicts has Ben know, right? If heroin's your drug of choice, you are... And he's about to think about...
Because Ruby is obviously an upper junkie, too. I mean, Red Bull after Red Bull.
Yeah.
Whole 2 liters of Diet Coke.
Grace drinks a lot of Red Bull. Is Grace an upper junkie as well?
This is weird.
She doesn't really drink coffee, but...
No, she drinks coffee.
She drinks her Dunkin' Donuts. I know that. Because I watch her streams. Ben, you're not paying attention, Ben.
Dunkin'?
Oh, that's right.
It's this much of it.
But I could see myself as being a heroin junkie because in those opiate dens where it's
I could see Ben totally doing heroin. 100%. In fact, he could probably use some in his life. Look at this. That's a guy right there that wants to chase the dragon. Okay. Am I right or am I wrong? In fact, that's what our poll tonight is going to be. Everyone likes a good poll. What is Ben's drug of choice?
In the 19th century in China, they're just go behind this little tent and chill the fuck out for a few days.
For my
I'd
tooth.
be oh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Ben would love heroin, I bet.
Right, and that's why I wouldn't do it because I think I could just... I've been on morphine, and it felt great. But in the hospital, it felt great. It's just it's so amazing. Take the pain away. This back pain, a little bit of morphine, we good. But it wasn't that interesting to me. I just like reality.
What is your theory as to why Ruby acts like this?
So, but what I'm saying is heroin type of people are not generally people who... It's not like crack or cocaine where they're all amped up and they're feeling I could whatever the world. What was that thing in Scarface? I they feel unstoppable and euphoric. That's not what it is. You're basically chill. And the problem is that they'll just chill out so much that they'll end up dead because their own body won't
respond anymore.
Won't keep breathing because it's all right, let's really chill out, right? I mean, that is the problem.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. I wouldn't think that would tend to be the same type of person who really gets into a lot of conflict with authorities, especially when the authorities are the dealers. You know what I mean? And if you've dealt with drug dealers, which all these people have, okay, a methadone clinic is going to have some rules, but a drug dealer is going to have a whole other set of rules that are quite harsh.
Yeah, right.
And they're also criminals. So if they feel hey, you know what?
Ben, you've never interacted with a drug dealer in your life, dude. You've never bought drugs in your life. Ever. I mean, clearly I have. I mean, you can just see it.
What else? I'll take your money and I want to get fucked. Like you kind of are stuck at that point. I don't think that occurs very much.
I want to get fucked.
They're like, I want to have sex with you.
Oh.
Like, I mean, what are you going to do about it? Like, they're criminals, right?
Yeah.
And certainly, if you're not able to make the payments, like, doesn't go well. But again, most of them probably act.
Man, it's not like that, man. I mean, you would have to be in a dire situation to like give it. I mean, obviously, there's chicks that will be willing to give to get, right? I mean, obviously, but Ben has no idea what he's talking about. Anyway. Fast forward a little bit.
I've had girlfriends, like sometimes you want to, whatever. Okay, so.
What's going on?
Just a little tired. That's it. Oh, let's go back to Ruby.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, let's get back to Ruby. Like, Grace was like, oh, wait, what were we talking about? What's going on? You know?
Run downstairs to grab some ibuprofen. Do you mind? I forgot to take it up here.
Are you going to get a cigarette while you're there?
I might have a buffer too, but.
No one paid for it.
No, they don't pay for me to leave. Maybe if I leave, they'll pay for you to be quiet. Because it's just you. And then you'll get your smoke break.
No one's paying for anything. Like, they're not paying you guys.
Maybe?
Hey, PDL, how's it going?
Well, anyways, I'm just saying, like, so you can agree. I'm not sure what chat's saying, but
chat is complaining that we're not reading them. Maybe you could just respond to chat. They're very upset.
Thanks for that 20-minute monologue on methadone clinics, which you know nothing about, Ben.
Exactly. Yeah, we had to watch a 2-minute video that kind of cleared it up.
I know a little bit.
It's just
Ben.
Southern girl's leaving.
Crew. I don't know what that
Oh,
means.
okay. So, have a good night, Southern girl. You take it easy. I don't know if you're still here. Okay. Yeah. All right. It looks like she is. Yeah. Have a good one. I think Mackenzie's coming in later, so you're leaving at the right time. I don't think you two get along.
They'll pay for her to come back. I think the non-bit.
sorry.
Okay, that's perfect. Start moving the chat while I'm reading it.
Sorry. That's why I need to leave. I was going to show you up higher. They're just doing this stupid stuff about non-bread now. Anyways, whatever.
Why did Grace argue with Ice Poseidon about there being multiple genders? If you want to take that, you can. But I mean, that's a whole discussion. I'll take it.
Okay, sure.
Because
yeah.
she is, in some sense, taking my point. Go!
Okay. I'll turn it so they're centered. Okay.
Go
Wow,
away.
they fight over everything. Oh, that is not a... Oh, I didn't realize how bad it was for Grace. Dude, her boobs have sunken so low. Look at that.
Go away.
Oh. Ouch. Oh, man. When you're like 22, they should be perky and like at least wear a good bra. Wow, it is. That's not good.
Think about genders. Yeah. Okay. So you've got this idea of sex and gender in it. For many people, those are the same.
Oh my God! If he tells me the two different things, I'm shut the fuck up, dude.
Refer to the same thing. So gender is like a euphemism or is like a different word for sex. But technically, gender only originally only referred to language. So only a noun or a verb or an adjective, a word could have a gender. And that didn't mean sex. Like, you know, it's in most languages you have gendered.
What does this have to do with the LA riots? Ben, I'm watching you for the LA riots. That's the title of this. You know?
It's like la or el in Spanish. The ship. And certain ones, you know, for kind of natural reasons, like something like a ship or house would be feminine, la casa.
Uh-huh.
And certain things would be masculine. But that doesn't mean a ship is female. But it would be kind of loosely feminine. So I think that gender theory...
Damn straight it is.
...tried to apply this to expand what gender meant. To get away from the idea of sex. Because to say there are more than two sexes is just going to be problematic because there are two sexes. It's a biological truth and it's very hard. Well, I've seen people say, like, that's an outdated... Biologists don't agree with that. It's really not true. But so they try to say, like, gender's a little bit different than sex.
Okay, we're gonna skip.
It's the expression.
We're gonna skip to
how you come across.
Let's do 10 minutes.
A milieu which doesn't frankly have any inherent meaning. So that was the point I gave to her. She picked up on it. I texted her. She picked up on it. She was like, "Oh yeah, that's true."
Of course, you texted her. You text her everything that she says.
True, and that's why it's important for people like Ice Poseidon, if they want to wade into the waters of having intellectual thoughts, to at least recognize that like to do a little bit of work, to do a little bit of study. Ben wants to be trans for political reasons. Yes.
I'll skip ahead.
Want to continue with Ruby or see if anything else is on?
Yeah, Ruby. Well, whatever.
So keep in mind, they had just had a truce, right? And they're going to watch Ruby and comment on it. There's no way they're not going to be mean. BDL, is that true? D-Dog has had Spicoli on his stream for 3 more nights since he was banned? Dude, I told you guys, Spicoli's not done. Huh. You know what? Hurricane needs a new show. Well, Hurricane, I'm not so sure about a co-host. I like to talk. And I don't have a good track record with co-hosts. That they're female. You know what? I don't have a good track record of that. But if you want to help me, you're more than welcome. Maybe not as co-host, but maybe as you can put together some clips. That's right. You can be the clip guy. Or whatever ideas you have, you let me know. But co-host, I'm not so sure. Not really the thing I do so much, right? Anyway.
Sure. Let's just see if anything else is going on really quick. Okay. Yeah, doesn't look like anything. All right, let's see.
There's the LA riots. You guys going to talk about the LA riots?
Oh,
Rob
and
interprets
it's
this.
over.
Hope it goes well.
Stream's over.
Oh, well, but it is.
You want to go back?
Grace.
What? I don't know.
Just make a decision.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, because it's my stream?
Yeah. I don't know if you want to cover like non-live Ruby content. Let's see.
Of course he's going to cover that. What is he going to cover?
Dude, I'm just like wasting time. All right.
Hurricane Gator. Oh, that's mean. No, better.
Did she make it to the clinic?
Took like this very short.
We'll find out.
As long as possible.
I think so.
As long. I don't even know what part I'm supposed to go into. Hopefully, I have what I need. It's just annoying. I miss the days when I used to get 28 bottles take home, even though I was popping positive on drug tests all the time. Now that I've been clean for a year, employed and on the up and up, they want to drag me down, down, down. Okay.
I'd like to make the point. You were saying this to me privately. The idea that she's been clean for a year when she's on methadone, which is really just a very strong opiate. It's just clean and provided by the government or whatever. A clinic instead of a drug dealer.
The proper word is
now they're going back into this. They don't know what they're talking about. It's like she says she's clean, but she's on methadone. Yeah, it's like a treatment that they need to help them stay off because the withdrawals are a pain in the ass.
Stable.
Clean.
The proper word is stable.
Stable, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Riots are old
Which
news.
is good. I mean,
that's
I
right.
see that as positive. I don't know.
The Thorps are on it. The riots, dude, that's old news. No one's even talking about the riots. What riots? What riots?
Whether
right?
Like society should pay for that, but I can see the argument. But I definitely think if something has such a low rate of getting over it, like stabilize. I can see the argument.
Yeah.
It's a lesser of two evils, but it is not like clean. Otherwise, why are you so hooked on these bottles? Now, what you have here is, but I would say what you have here is an inexplicable situation. You at some point were getting 28 bottles to take home, which is a month, right? It's 4 weeks. Even though you tested positive for illegal drug use, I assume. Must be marijuana, because if you tested for opiate, like fentanyl, I don't think they'd give you that. Okay. So then, and she's saying like, what happened? Well, I don't know exactly what happened, but what is her theory about what happened?
Oh, I know exactly. Oh,
I've been a victim of
her
bad
theory.
people. That's it. And now you need to take it on a daily basis. Okay, but what is her theory about how it went from situation A to situation B?
Well, I know that she had this issue with Mary, right?
Yeah.
Thanks, Mary. I'm gonna go relapse for you, bitch.
That was the first methadone clinic, and she got kicked out of that one. Then she started going to the second one, where they put her on a daily program instead of weekly. She had
Oh, I know.
previously
No,
been
I
on
know
a
what the
weekly
theory is. The
program.
theory is that
Yeah, I was just curious because I know I was going to get it from these two. If methadone would come up in a drug test as like an opiate, but I don't know if it does. This was just a quick and dirty Google search, and it's saying that it'll come up as a. Let's see. It may be detected. I don't think it comes up as an opiate. I'm not sure. Let's see. Does methadone show up in your drug test? Methadone treatment for opioid use. Drug screening. They do detect opiate drug use, including the use of heroin, codeine, and morphine. However, they do not usually detect methadone. Usually. Anyway.
this program picks on people, and she's getting picked on.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And the reason she's getting picked on is
the clinicians are sadistic. They enjoy torturing.
You
people.
guys are saying, but why would be a cokehead?
Or maybe everyone gets picked on? No.
No.
She gets picked on because
now
she's
that's the
virtuous or
drug you
something
should
like
definitely not do,
It's
huh?
something like now that she's off of other drugs and she's clean and she's only doing methadone.
Could you imagine Ben on coke? Oh
picking on
man,
her. I haven't heard much of an
But
explanation beyond
I
that.
understand because I've been in a lot of these systems. They operate like machines. They don't really get very personal.
Mm.
You know
right,
what I mean?
Right.
So, like, you piss the machine off.
Mm.
And, yeah, I mean, I would say that from what little I know as an example, and I don't think she'll have a big problem with me saying this. I don't
Ben has a great skill of talking out of his ass. All right, let's skip.
Sense to say you're doing these things. Your thoughts, and I'll be back in 5.
Here, take this key. And take the keys on that keychain, too.
All right, Grace is taking over.
Take this dick. Dick.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I
And that could be
mean,
something
I agree.
for Glenn Lawrence on one of his panels, because the guys on his panel yesterday ended up trying to say like they were flexing, like, I got a vasectomy, I'm getting a vasectomy, I haven't been able to get a vasectomy. And I just think that's odd for a men's panel. Odd. But I do understand why someone might get one, but not why you would talk about it. What does it get you? Your thoughts?
Because in the red pill sphere.
Because guys will talk about getting a vasectomy. I don't know if Ben's ever had guy friends. I mean, it's been a conversation that's come up just with me hanging out with my neighbors, drinking beers and stuff. That has definitely come up. But like, it's not that bad. You just get snipped. That's about it. You're fine, Didn't even feel it, Well, Spicoli is taking over. That's low-cal rejects, huh? Wow.
Here. Having
You're
a
like, I showed these
vasectomy
bitches.
is a way of saying, like, yeah, I'm in control. I'm not gonna get baby trapped. These women are
But that
not
is a
gonna let
very
lock
odd
me.
flex for men to say, like, I have castrated myself.
Oh yeah.
Fist bump.
Oh yeah. It's stupid. So is most of the red pill.
I mean, it's not castrating yourself. Hold on. Whoa. Hold on. Yeah. Okay, sure, fine, yeah. But some dudes, are cool with that. You don't want your loads to be always viable, man. Like, I have 2 kids. I'm good with that. It snipped. The dick still works. It still shoots. Well, not the same. Anyway.
Damien has gifted a sub. Okay.
Whoa, what is that?
That's such an out.
Why was Ben having such a hard time getting up?
That's such an out.
Hold on, let's do that in real time. He was like shaky legged, getting up. How long does it take Ben to get out of a chair? Okay, so this is wild. Check this out.
Control. I'm not finna get baby trapped. These women are
But that
not
is
gonna
a
let
very
lock
odd
me.
flex for men to say like, I have castrated myself.
Oh yeah.
Fist bump.
Oh yeah. It's stupid. So is most of the red pill.
Look how long it takes for Ben to get out of his chair.
Damius gifted a sub.
He can't even get out of his chair. I'm on at normal speed.
Okay.
He can't. Dude. What is that? Is Ben okay?
Work that section out.
Dude, this is normal speed. I did not slow this down at all. It took him. Oh, dude, he was struggling there. Watch, he gets up.
Stupid.
And he's like in this position trying to get his leg
red pill.
out, but he
Damius
can't.
gifted a sub.
It's like his brain is trying to tell his body to move, tell his foot to move, but it just won't.
Okay.
It's like he's stuck. He's frozen.
Work that section out.
Is Ben doing okay?
The mini shorts.
I'm kind of worried about his physical health now. What was that? That was like a Biden move right there. One more time. I want to see how long it takes. How many?
Stupid. So is most of the red pill. Damius gifted a sub. Okay.
It takes him 30 seconds to get out of a chair. 30 seconds to get out of a freaking chair. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, there's reason to be concerned here. For sure. Ooh, man. Ben might need to get a physical. No, I'm going to take a piss. Watch how long it takes for me to get on my chair. Alrighty, so here we're back. Any change on Ben's drug of choice? Looks like it's heroin got up. Look at that. Now I'm trying to. There you go. We're trying to trigger that thing. Okay. All right. So it looks like they talk about Ruby for a little bit when Ben comes back. They talk about Hormaxer. You know what's even more important than the LA riots? This stuff. Who's this guy? Oh no, this is not Hormaxer. I don't even know who this guy is.
なんで全身そんな不自由なんだよ。
Some Japanese dude.
顔骨切ってよ。
Or something.
で、マンコ常に臭くてぬるぬるでよ。ご飯食ったらすぐお腹痛くなっちゃうから。
Like, what the fuck? Okay, I did get a request to look up Hormaxer, who ended up throwing up on camera on his last stream, apparently.
Did he have like 5 shots of vodka? Dude, that one night, was it Monday? Dude, I was like only like 3 shots of vodka in, and I was about to puke. It was not a good night.
I don't know if I want to watch somebody vomit. When did he throw up?
Probably towards the end.
Hour 53.
Very quiet. Oh, he's throwing up off camera.
Oh yeah, my back's getting so much better.
Oh, that's
you're
great.
showing the Duke-a-thon?
Yeah, did you see that?
No.
He just goes to the bathroom and it's just retching noises, but it's funny.
That might be part of Ben's problem. That chair looks like it sits kind of low for him. Very uncomfortable. Do they eventually get to the LA riots?
They said something to play by the.
Good looking cigarettes on the ground.
I get lucky a lot. It's the city, though. You know, there's a lot of people around.
Will you?
Oh, dang it! I didn't grab my
smoke. That's been smoke.
Back. Oh, they're interacting.
I literally can't even think about it. I hate that so much.
I had those when I was a
That's my
kid.
least favorite. All right.
I don't think they ever talk about the LA riots. You know what's more important than the LA riots? Everything else but that.
Have back pain. Brief, sharp, debilitating back pain.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And I would say probably people who want constant tooth pain are people who don't have someone to help them. Because when you have someone to help you, then they
we need to put
actually, they can do all the.
We need to speed this up, man.
stuff.
Yeah.
So
actually, it's not that different from when you don't have.
I do have debility. Oh, that's the other thing I want to talk about. Perfect segue, Grace. See, I'm trying to make it more flowing.
Okay, I'm down.
Perfect segue.
Okay.
Yesterday morning, we had, because people are saying like, I don't know if I'm interested in this intellectual stuff. It's like,
Okay, yeah, Ben needs to use cocaine because of Ben. Okay, so because he would talk like this, and he needs this sort of energy.
Boring me. I get that. We got to drill up that audience over time.
Sure.
They want to know about the drama. They're into drama. Okay?
Yes.
They find this interesting, obviously, in some way, or they wouldn't be here.
True.
Now,
True.
yesterday morning, you and I had one of our very frequent, or used to be daily kind of struggle sessions.
Mm-hmm.
And I took a different tack at the end of it than I usually do. And this was my premise. My premise was, Grace, you have lingering anger that flares up because you started, no.
Oh, we're doing this again.
I was saying like, there are unresolved issues that you
Are
have
there?
to do with what can be called trauma
Mm-hmm.
that you experienced or you thought you experienced or you felt was compelling. There's a little bit of a victim narrative. It's gotten better, but there's still a little bit of a victim narrative and yada, yada, yada. You got to get rid of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe it's time to make a big shift and get rid of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. True. Yeah.
Okay. And you said, and I was tough, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of saying like, come on, how is this not true? We got to clean up the mess here, because we kind of know what it is, and we got to clean it up. And I think it's true that we kind of do know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then you said that's great, and I was like, oh, okay. That was worth, it was like 2-3 hours, right? And then part of it, you came on to Ruby's thing and said, I'm really sorry for whatever extent I was kind of like pushing things, and I also made my amends with Ruby, so it had that fruitfulness, which I stand by. Although
we can still criticize her. I just don't want to like.
Yeah, it's not like
we've
we've made this feel
breakdown.
like you're in charge of everything, Ruby. Like, yeah, but okay, so like,
Yeah.
I don't have any problem saying like we have no intention of going to South Carolina and trolling you. We actually never did because it wouldn't have made much sense. But we just did, like, we were just teasing. But okay, if 3 females feel like that makes them unsafe, like, okay, I can make you feel safe. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that.
Yep.
I do have to say, like, unsafe. Like, we've never wielded so much as like any weapon towards anyone except this towards you and your stupid face. And Ruby is.
Yeah, this truce is not going to last. Oh, man. There isn't a truce. It's just bullshit. Okay.
She spent a lot of time with us. We never in any way made her feel unsafe. So she's a liar. So I guess I take that back.
Oh, okay. So call Ruby a liar. You never made her feel unsafe. Okay. So you pretty much, I guess you're walking back. You're walking back the kind of half-assed apology there. All right. Okay. Oh, that was short-lived. The truce didn't even last a day.
But anyways, then I said, okay, so that was a good conversation. You're like, definitely, that was a good conversation. You're right, Dad. And then I was like, okay, so now there should be a celebration for me doing that and us clarifying this stuff. And we said, like, we need to make structural changes. You need to like be less clingy of me. We need to do more stuff. We need to like be more professional. And then I was like, okay, so now since you say that was worthwhile, that was really good. It's going to clarify things that have been messy. We should celebrate, but you should especially celebrate because it was tiring, right? And you didn't. You were just like kind of crabby towards me.
Yeah, somewhat.
And I was like, so what?
No, you had meatloaf and mashed potatoes.
Yeah, you got me meatloaf, mashed potatoes.
Tiramisu.
No, that was after this. No. At the time. No, at the time. No. So that was the morning. The meatballs.
The
came
little
after,
details don't
not at this
matter.
point.
No, they came before this point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You might be right about that.
Because I
You're
remember
right
you hadn't
about-
eaten. Yeah, whatever.
Okay. So you got me some nice food. But then I was like, okay, so this is totally different. Okay, this is coming from a totally different place. You've made that shift. You haven't just said, yeah, I agree with you, but you've made that shift. This is going to be great.
Hello.
And then I could tell you were sort of crabby. And I kept pointing, you were doing it passively, but I was like, you're fucking with me. And you're like, yeah, I'm fucking with you. I was like, well, where does this anger come from? Because I don't think you're angry at me. And then we had been through the dynamics of the trauma and stuff. And I was like, I don't know. A lot of it, not to be taken that seriously. It hasn't really turned into anything. And like a lot of stuff that justified maybe like behaviors that are like childish without those things like seriously scary things going on, like going to jail. And maybe it's time to drop the childish behavior. And I got a little pissed at you.
Yep.
And then you started getting freaking out because you're like, oh, I'm fucking up. I didn't make the change that he says I should have made. And I was kind of like, yeah, that's true. But then I actually said, like I always say, you're angry at your mother, you're not angry at me, but you're taking it out on me because I'm the person that'll react to you. And I kept saying, like, you should interact with your mother, She's the source. I've said this a million times to you, right?
Yes.
And you're like, but what do I say to her? And I was like, oh, here, I came up with various ideas of how you control her, whatever. But none of them really, I didn't really feel like, okay, that's definitely what you should do. And you did send her some text messages and she didn't respond, as of course she never does.
So what we're hearing here is that nothing has changed, Of course, nothing was ever going to change because they're still working together. They still live together. They're going to have these constant struggle sessions. And this is where I have to disagree with Ben. Now, I think Grace is angry with Ben. I mean, Grace might be angry with her mom for sure. But Grace even said once before on a stream that she has like constant headaches around her dad. Yeah, she looks tiny in that perspective. Maybe that's symbology, a symbolism. Symbolism. That's the word. Symbolism. Didn't even notice the eye patch. Oh, the story? Yeah, it's the same thing. I just wear an eye patch instead of sunglasses. It's the same thing. Now I'm going for and now I'm going for like a Metal Gear Solid thing. Okay, that's what I'm doing.
Does and I think it came down to like, and then I kind of realized like, yeah, I don't really know what you can do to resolve this problem with your mother. I resolved my problems with my parents at a much later age than you're at. I did resolve them, but they also allowed me to resolve them. Like they put the gun down too. Like they don't really care that much. They're not that invested in their relationship with me.
I just want to clarify. What I
Sure.
sent my mom was not.
Do you have
it
any
was
food? Comida.
bagels?
Love it. Thank you.
Perfect.
I think there's bagel.
Okay, so Grace is now going to fetch food for her dad.
I think there's 2 of them. Maybe not.
Wow.
What I sent my
Can
mom.
you make it
Yeah.
now?
Well, let me just say, what I sent my mom was just. It was just kind of like it was friendly and it wasn't like a troll. It was just. I don't know.
Renzo, you're welcome to come up.
characterize it.
You say Ben hasn't resolved anything with his parents, by the way.
I'm gonna make the bagels.
You're actually most welcome.
Yeah,
to come
so
up.
Grace was trying to say something, and Ben would just like right there, right?
It was just kind of like it was friendly and it wasn't like a troll. It was just. I don't know.
Renzo, you're welcome to come up.
characterize it.
You say Ben hasn't resolved anything with his parents, by the way.
I'm gonna make the bagels.
You're actually most welcome to come up and.
Yeah, so even in this situation, Grace is sidelined. Of course she is. Yeah. Hopefully not both. I'm on now I'm prescribed because so I learned today that it's not pink eye, it's herpes. Eye herpes. Yeah, eye herpes. I told my wife that. She was like, "Wait, how do you have an STD in your eye?" It's like, I don't know. What? Just one time in Tijuana? I don't know, man. I went to one of those Thai massage parlors and I asked for the special and they gave me the special. I got what I paid for.
And discuss this. That's not true. I really do think I have. But let's keep it TOS friendly. If you want to. Or you can talk with Grace or me and Grace about this thing with her mother.
There's
But
someone
if you
that
wanna
I
give
could
me an
talk
example
to.
how it didn't make ever too much sense. But okay, you can say like, okay, so there's a kind of prophylaxis there. I need to protect myself because I've said things that could be
I
problematic.
need another shot or something.
Oh, we got someone here.
Yeah, I know this guy.
You do.
Hey!
Hey,
What's going on, Eric?
Hey, good
All
afternoon,
right,
guys.
all right. We got something other than Ben talking. Okay.
Guys?
Hey.
What's up?
No, just about to walk around the neighborhood, looking for a cigarette or something.
Looking for a cigarette on the ground?
Dude, I love the echo. I love that.
Either that or trade this bag of weed in my pocket.
I've been in that position. You don't usually find a lot of like good-looking cigarettes on the ground.
I get lucky a lot. It's the city, though. You know, there's a lot of people around.
Well,
Oh, dang it, I didn't-
Dude, that dude is looking for cigarettes off the ground to smoke. Man, that is sad.
Half smoke? That's been smoke?
I mean, on occasion, I do. I'll turn my camera off real quick. I gotta go to my room.
Okay.
Did you have thoughts on what we were streaming about? Like any topic that particularly interested you?
Oh, no, I just always pay attention to you guys. I was like watching something else a minute ago. What you guys talking about today? Sorry. Hey, I like talking to Grace. What can I say?
That's right. Let's set it up. You do your thing.
He wasn't even listening. He was like, what do you guys even talk about? Good thing he didn't look at the title of the stream. You would think they're supposed to talk about the LA riots. I don't think they ever talk about the LA riots, which is a great joke on Grace's part. I don't think she realized what she did. It just shows how important the LA riots really are. You got a 5 hour stream and not a single mention.
Let me continue our conversation. Then you can chime in if you want. Because
Yeah, let me-
I was just setting it up.
Yeah.
So I was saying that. Well, you can be.
Oh, you want me to leave him? Oh,
Yeah, sure.
All right.
I mean, unless there's a lot of noise in the background.
I'll just mute him.
Totally fine.
Yep.
But here's my point. A lot of people have trauma, whether how real it is or not doesn't really matter that much. A lot of people your age have a trauma from their upbringings.
Yeah,
Okay?
sure.
Sometimes they blame their mom.
Fine.
Sometimes they blame their dad. Sometimes they blame both. Sometimes they exaggerate it. Sometimes it's real, and so forth. Right. But I wonder, and I follow the Jesse Lee Peterson model. Right. You should go, like, kind of kind of like try to make a good assessment of what
Isn't
happened.
that motto kind of the model? Isn't that the Jesse Lee Peterson model? Isn't that kind of a joke? I mean, he's a meme. He's not supposed to be taken seriously.
Happened using like his basic principles.
Mhm.
Then you should go and genuinely forgive your mom so you can let it go and move on.
Mhm.
Then forgive your dad or apologize to, depending on, forgive him for whatever may
Also,
have
wasn't he outed for being gay? Like very gay?
ways in which he may have, but he sees the primary evil as coming through the woman, usually.
Mhm.
Although men can have that feminine evil as well, but he identifies the evil in the feminine, right? Which I agree with. It's Eve that, tasted the fruit first. And that's
But it's so basic and easy. Yeah. Well, women are evil. They ate the apple. They tricked the man to eating the apple. Okay, yeah. Women are cunts and vindictive. Yeah. They're mean. They take all of our money. They leave us. Women. We hate women. Yet we can't live without them, right? Right? We still haven't figured out how to make them happy to where they won't leave us. Oh, some of us have.
important, and that's how it usually happens in family. So I agree with that. I think you basically agree with that.
Mhm.
But I'm not so sure. In your case, you said you forgave your mom a couple of years ago, and you said, like, she did the best she could. I realized she was limited, etc. But you're still kind of angry because you don't quite buy that, right?
Is she allowed to
I
talk?
hear this is easier said than done. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, exactly. Good point. Good point.
I know
Irk.
I don't really think I'm angry at my mother currently.
Okay, well, who are you angry at?
I'm angry at the fact that my life is unorganized. It's not really anger at anyone specific.
Okay, but you can't be angry at a thing. You can only be angry at a person. So you can be angry at God.
You can be angry at a situation. You can be angry. Can you not be angry at a thing? Like, what do we mean? What does he mean? You can't be angry at a thing? Like, for example, if the internet's not working here, if I'm having Wi-Fi issues, internet issues, oh yeah, I'm angry at I'm angry at the computer. I'm angry at the modem. I'm angry at that stuff. If the car's not starting, I get angry at the car. But then it's like, is that very helpful? No, it's not. But but yeah, you can be angry at things. People get angry at things all the time. It's what? Man, as a kid growing up playing video games, how many times have I been angry at stupid pixelated things on the screen, like in Mega Man and Castlevania and games like that? All right. But yeah, it bends rules. You can't be angry at things. You can only be angry at people. Okay. I mean, when I get pissed off and mad while playing Contra, and I'm mad, that I died and all that stuff, I throw the controller or whatever. Or more relevant, I was gonna say, when I get pissed off and angry at, like, let's say playing, matches of like Halo, like back in the day. I'm not even angry at a person. I'm just angry that a freaking died. Anyway, that doesn't even really matter. Because all this is dumb. Ben's rules are stupid.
You can be angry at me. You can be angry at, in a certain sense, the internet. You can be angry at society. You can be angry at the government. But you can't be angry at your life being disorganized. I
guess I would be.
Why not? But she can start there, that her life is disorganized, and then she can ask herself, why is it disorganized? Maybe it has to do with her and what she's not doing. And then she can be kind of angry with herself for a little bit. And then she can kind of try to figure out what she needs to do to make things better.
Be angry at God then.
Okay, but why is your life disorganized?
Um,
It's because of the chaos that occurred in our family.
right.
Which you...
Why are you speaking for her, Ben? Why don't you let her talk?
Don't blame me for as the origin of it, but you do blame your mother for as the origin, which I think is correct.
I do, but actually, in
Or
fact,
I wouldn't
her
say blame.
actions.
It's not blame, but you would just like sort of identify where the problem originated.
Yeah. Well, I would say that in actual fact, I did not appreciate the way that she handled the situation. But at the end of the day, the way she's handled it has ended up working out for everybody involved.
But you're not okay with the idea. Like, so your mother seems to, and I can talk about this because it's not derogatory, because it's just simply true. It seems like she has said towards you that she is never going to communicate with you ever again till the day she dies. I mean, that would have to, and you're saying like, I don't think that's okay. I don't think that's okay. Right?
I would say,
I mean, I would just say it's like
okay
it's a fairly like logical extrapolation to say like,
I would say she's like pretty effectively rejected me, yes,
yeah, like
permanently as a human being.
Like no matter what you say, she's going to say.
But you've also rejected her too. Like Grace is a bitch to her mom. Absolute bitch to her mom. Yeah, Ben ruined his family. Yeah, absolutely.
See it as until like maybe if you actually like murdered me, she'd be like, okay, I get that you agree with me or something. I don't know. Like I'd start talking to you. But as long as I exist, there's always going to be this like you're brainwashed and suspicion, which makes it like I'm not going to interact. And I don't think you're okay.
Well, you answering for Grace doesn't help the whole like, accusation of Grace being brainwashed. She's not even able to speak for herself here.
With that now.
Well, who would be okay with that?
Would someone be okay with that? Is that okay? Is that okay?
I mean, eventually the wound will
for
heal.
a mother to do with her daughter. Is it okay? Is that reasonable to say? Like, in other words, like say you got married. She's not going to go. She's not going to wish you well. Like there have been like pretty big events in your life. She doesn't say congratulations or you did a good job or I'm glad to see you're doing well or anything. Like your birthday, she doesn't say like anything, right? It's like zero.
Yeah. Seems
and if you
like
ask her
it
a
at
simple
this point.
question, she just doesn't answer it. And if you went over there and knocked on the door and said, "Hey, Mom, I'd like to talk," she would call the police. I mean, she made that very
because she doesn't trust Grace, and for good reason. You guys have screwed over Courtney so many times. Because when she sees Grace interacting with her, what she's worried about is that it has something to do with you, Ben. That you have some sort of play, some sort of connection with it. And it's true. You do. Man. Yeah, exactly. Keister Bunny, yeah. Well, and I think that Ben puts that in her head so that she could only be angry at someone. And then he will then answer for her that it's your mom. And it's your mom because of this. And it's been like that for years for her, right? And we see here in this interaction, what interaction, right? It's really Ben talking for Grace. You see the way she looks. It's like it's being programmed into her. Wow. I don't know if we're going to hit 20 likes here tonight on this stream. If we do, I'll take another shot, but I don't think so. We got 15 watching. I think I don't know if we're doing that tonight.
Clear. I don't think this is disparaging at all. There is no way for you to communicate with her in any way, short of
Currently,
taking her to
yes.
court. Like, and that's the position she's taking vis-a-vis you and me is like, I do like any conversation that will take place through my lawyer.
Mhm.
And she has said that will permanently be the case between she and I. Okay, which of course is absurd because like her lawyer is not going. If I say like, okay, Joey needs his wisdom teeth out, like the lawyer, she doesn't have a lawyer on retainer for the rest of her life,
Right.
So it's not going to really make sense.
Mhm.
But okay, I don't really care, but you do. Yeah. Like when I get the
it's just
annulment,
not an
like, it
active-
doesn't really matter to when I go to get the annulment, which I really want to do. I think it's gonna be super easy, and it's finally gonna.
sometimes what happens in these situations, well, in Texas anyway, and they live in Rhode Island, is these families that have these very contentious divorce situations going on, is they'll have like a particular app that they use, like My Family Wizard or some sort of app that they use. That way all the communications can be, well, it can be screened, it's there, and that becomes like the only way that they're able to have any sort of communication back and forth. I don't know if that will apply here. Why did he marry a 12-year-old? It looks like it, right? Great. Well, first of all, Grace looks like a 12-year-old here. I mean, I guess the way she's sitting, she looks like a 12-year-old boy. In other videos, she looks like a 40-year-old woman. A 40 might be mean. 30. So Grace is in this weird situation now where she either looks like a 30-year-old woman or a 12-year-old boy.
I'm going to be able to show these fuckers on the internet. Yeah, the church did give me an annulment. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, that is every stream, huh? Yeah. Oh, how about this? How about this one? I'll also take shots or any sort of like, donos or whatever. And nothing happens. Nothing happens. I totally understand. I understand, guys. I understand. Hey, honestly, the best thing is just you guys hanging out in the chat. We're just hanging out, obviously keeping up with the Thorps. And in this stream, hopefully, eventually, it'll talk about the LA riots, but that's not going to happen. If they talk about the LA riots anywhere here, dude, I will have to take like 3 shots in a row. Okay? That's not happening.
She doesn't have to participate in that, though. There are ways around it.
I mean, I would say, do I care? Like, it's not an act of concern each and every day, but would I say overall?
No, I have not read the narcissist prayer.
I mean, to be honest, I don't even know what I would really talk to her about. So I would say I care more in theory, that I got rejected by my mom than her as an actual person. I mean, we've never really been very close.
But what I'm saying is, like, let's say you were to get married to Adam, or you got pregnant by Adam before you got married.
Much more likely situation.
Okay, but like, if you were pregnant, would you want her to say congratulations and I wish you well? And if the baby, that she would want to know the baby? Because it seems to be very extreme that a daughter having a baby, that the grandmother would never even so much as say hello to the baby. That seems crazy. Don't you agree?
Yeah. I don't know. I've been texting
but Ben, as long as you are involved, she does not want to be involved. That's how bad things are.
my mom on and off for about a year now, and I've never gotten a response except for when she needed to go to the storage unit.
Grace, I understand that.
So it's not up to me. It's up to her. Door's open on my side.
No, but you're not, I'm saying, is it crazy?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Does the situation warrant that level of behavior?
I do not believe it warrants like.
In actual fact, as I'm thinking of it, that's a lot like her dad, right? Her dad has never communicated with his grandkids. Yeah, he has 6 grandkids.
Yeah, but well, he knows Hayden and Adeline. He knows Hayden and Adeline.
Well, I mean, like, he hasn't communicated with 6 of his grandkids. Never.
Through mom blocking it, though.
Once by sending okay, yeah, right, okay, I understand that, but like, okay, but like, obviously you're an adult. You're publicly. All you have to do is type in Grace Thorp. He knows it.
A man who, yeah, the LA riots were like hours ago. Ben is talking now. That's some important stuff. Ben is a shit magnet. Yeah. Yeah.
Name.
Yeah.
So, but that's rather extreme on his part, and your mother seems to have followed his lead in that sense.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I actually think it's.
And are you
think,
okay with that?
More like anti-life skills.
Does a grandparent owe their grandkid more than that?
Yeah, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Maybe we could toss that out to chat.
And what's the point in having the other guy there? There's a guy. There's like a small window. A dude wearing a hat. He's here, but he's not really here.
Like, my parents, I don't think are ever going to talk to me again. And when they die, I may or may not go to the funeral, but like, I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you this one right now. I'm probably not fly to Hawaii for my old man's funeral. I don't know. I don't know, man.
Bagels.
Did you have a bad relationship? Good relationship?
That doesn't crazy shit. Yeah, I crushed his head with a shotgun one time.
Whoa!
Yeah, like
Whoa,
this.
whoa. What? Back up. Something with a shotgun? Let's slow that down a little bit because he talks kind of fast.
That does some crazy shit. Yeah, I crushed his head with a shotgun one time.
Whoa!
Yeah, like this. We've had some troubles.
He crushed his dad's head with a shotgun?
Did you ever resolve that?
I don't think so.
Yeah, how do you resolve that?
You crushed his head with a shotgun? Or you just...
Yeah, like I told him to get out of the house, so I threw him up against the front door.
Mm.
And then kicked him out the house. And I told him I'm loading my 12 gauge. Or no, I told him the 12 gauge is loaded. I was like, you hear this? And I went, rack. I goes, that's the 12 gauge loading. It's ready to go. You want to keep fucking around, you better leave. And he wouldn't leave. You know? So
it was your house, not his?
It was my house.
And he didn't want to leave your house?
No, he was acting a little bit too familiar. I was like, nah, man, you gotta leave now. This is my house.
Was he living there or was he just visiting?
No, he was just visiting. He was living in California at the time. He came over and he was acting a little bit of a fool after my grandfather died. Or I think it was after my grandmother died. And then I threw him out, grabbed the shotgun. I walked outside with the shotgun. That motherfucker grabbed it. I had to fight with my old man with the shotgun. And I won. I maybe should have killed him. I don't know. I probably would have been out by now.
Okay. All right. Let that guy continue talking. His stories are better.
Why should you have killed him?
I shouldn't have. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Because I've been out by now. Dude. I went down for murder, second degree. I've done like 8 years. I've been out.
Oh. But
anyway,
not having anything to do with your dad.
What?
Oh, you would have been out. Okay, I thought you were saying you've been in jail for 8 years. You're saying you would have been out.
Yeah.
Why should...
Well, the question would be, Ben, why did it escalate like that? Why did you... Wait. He was living with you for a little bit. What did he do that would justify a shotgun, right? That's a question.
Should you, like, why are you like, in retrospect, maybe I should have killed him? Why?
I don't know, man. Sometimes it's just like, man, you have to get that over one of these days. And, you know, it's kind of funny because, like, I started growing weed here in Michigan legally, and then him and my brother.
The guy's growing weed illegally. I don't have a problem with that. I don't care if people are doing that sort of stuff because I like that stuff. Okay. 420. Okay. But Ben and Grace, they're like anti-criminals, aren't they?
Brother went and did out in Cali, like on the underground tip, outdoor, thinking they're cool, making a bunch of cash. While I was just scraping by, doing it legally. I did it under my own roof, man. But, I was a chump because I didn't have all the bread they did. And, I was a little bit jealous because I wanted to get rich doing it out here with them, but they didn't want to work with me. So they went and did their own thing. So, good luck to them or whatever.
Can I
I'll see them in the
just
future.
What? His story is not making a whole lot of sense.
No, it's interesting.
Irk is an
Anyways, so what happened was I pushed the old man out the house, right? And then he tussled with me for the shotgun. I leveled it at him. And then he said, no. And he ran away because once we started tussling, we were back in the house. And I leveled that fucker at him. He was standing right next to the door. And
why not call the cops, though? Why, if you say, like,
anyways, so
because he's growing illegal, because he's doing illegal stuff, he doesn't want the cops there. Besides, he could kick his old man out of the house, the elderly old man, right? Oh man! All right.
I think I might have actually. I don't know. I'm like, hey, get this motherfucker out of here. Or no, I think I called my uncle. So
yeah, dude, there's red flags all over. Yeah, for sure.
Motherfucker out of here before I kill him. I don't know. I forget.
Just the way he's talking, it's like I understand what he's saying. If you make it just a little bit faster, like normally how I would for watching these streams, But that dude, that guest, the way he talks, it's just so. You know, when I hear them, like, oh, this dude does some rough shit. Be careful with this guy.
But yeah, he called the cops on me many times, so like this shit's out. But
if it's your house, it doesn't matter. You don't need any reason to tell someone to leave, and the cops will back you.
Yeah. But so I pushed him out, and we tussled over the gun, and then he ran out the house real fast, out the door, and then I went out the doorway, same as I did when he grabbed the fucking gun. But I went out and I pushed him, kind of the same as I pushed that guy that I stabbed. And then when he hit the ground, I brought the gun down on his head, like Master Chief in Halo. It's the butt of that shotgun, man, right on top of his cranium. If that fucker would
like Master Chief in Halo. Like Master Chief in Halo. I forgot about that game. You know, that one part of the game where you have to kick out an elderly person down the steps, right? And you have to crush his head with a shotgun. Y'all remember that mission in Halo? It's a doozy of a mission. It's crazy. You'd be like, what's happening here? I thought I was fighting these aliens. Now I'm fighting this old man. Kind of weird. I don't know what's happening. I'm sorry. That was... Wow. Okay. Yeah, this guy's rap sheet is how many pages do you think? This guy has done some B and E's before. This guy has done some grape. Yeah.
Wasn't covered in rubber. Anyway.
What's
that?
Why that's funny. Oh man, I don't know. You think it's Halo 2? Yeah. Oh man, that's funny. I was not expecting a Halo reference here. That's the one thing I could really relate to.
What's
that? You have a lot of anger towards your dad.
No shit, Sherlock.
Well, at that moment you did.
You might want to ask him, why do you have all this anger? Because clearly you do.
That was all in that one thing? Yeah, that moment for sure. For absolute answer.
Like there's a backstory to that, because like that didn't just come from him saying like, I don't want to leave your house. Like you wouldn't get there just from that. Obviously there was a lot of bad.
Well, you know, it was like I'm saying, you know, like how these motherfuckers didn't want to acknowledge me, you know.
But your story about how your brother and your dad didn't want to work with you, like if you're adults,
they trying
like,
to really get me back in that bitch.
that's their right.
Say Kurt is being.
No, of course.
He could be that little piece of shit.
His brother and his dad didn't want to work with him with his weed business. I think I understand that. Right? That's kind of weird.
The only reason he lost his contract.
That was a good ass block, right? Thank you.
If you were mad at them about that, you were in the wrong, because they don't have to work with you.
Yeah, this is their demographic. This is their audience. At first, I thought it was, oh man, I was going to say this dude's name, Chipmunk. Chipmunk. That's a name I have not heard in a long time. He used to appear on The Drunken Peasants. That's a podcast probably haven't seen in a long time. It's still around. But yeah, anyway.
Right.
He didn't like you. Kurt thought I was gonna be that type of
maybe. I don't know.
Because he thought the job was hard again for me, and so I started running that shit.
There's too much back noise. Hold on. We'll get back to Irk maybe later. It's interesting though. I think it's very difficult. I've always found it interesting. Like, what must it be like when John was doing the stuff he was doing, trying to get me thrown in jail as a son to a father? Because there's just a natural, there's a natural.
Speed this up. Now they're talking.
Barrier.
Okay, there we go.
You know what I mean when we talk about like incest.
I gave Ben some coke Now he's gonna be talking fast
and stuff. Like there's a natural barrier.
Mm.
And I think with a son towards his father.
Two
towards
more
the violence,
likes
it's
to
just a natural
20.
barrier. I never
I'll take
crossed
another
it.
shot.
Mm-hmm.
I once said, remember when he said that you look like a prostitute
With your dad.
Remember when you did a stream and I had told you, like, you know, troll your mother a little bit. We're like a low cut. It was totally fine.
Look,
But he was like,
dress.
yeah, I was like, you look like Audrey.
I'll tell you what. Yeah. If we get to 20 likes, I'll take another shot. But I'll tell you what. This is nasty. If I do get a donation tonight, I'll drink this Mr. Black coffee liquor. It's disgusting. There is that. If I'm going to beg like a bum, I'll drink like a bum.
Audrey Hepburn or Marilyn Monroe. Okay, and he said your daughter looks like a prostitute or something like that. And I said to him, you know, if you weren't my dad, I'd come over there and kick your fucking.
Okay, back up.
Dude.
With your dad.
Remember when you did a stream and I had told you, like, you know, troll your mother a little bit. We're like a low cut. It was totally fine.
Look,
But he was like,
dress.
yeah, I was like, you look like Audrey Hepburn or Marilyn Monroe. Okay, and he said your daughter looks like a prostitute or something like that. And I said to him, you know, if you weren't my dad, I'd come over there and kick your fucking ass. Right. And then he actually was pretty nice about it. He was like, okay, yeah, like she doesn't look like a prostitute. Because I was like, she doesn't look like a prostitute. And actually it's interesting to say someone looks like a prostitute because prostitutes generally dress like women who are
like what? Like what, Ben?
I mean, there is a certain like street prostitute look, but like it's generally like a high-end escort. The whole idea is they're not able to be discerned from like a very fancy lady.
Yeah,
right. So
right.
Oh, it was a compliment. It was a compliment. Let me hear all that again.
it was totally fine.
Look,
But he was like,
dress.
yeah, I was like, you look like
Back up a little bit more.
difficult. I've always found it interesting. Like, what must it be like when John was doing the stuff he was doing, trying to get me thrown in jail as a son to a father? Because there's just a natural, barrier there. You know what I mean? When we talk about like incest and stuff, like there's a natural barrier.
Well, there should be a barrier with incest for sure.
And I think with a son towards his father in terms of violence, there's just a natural barrier. I never crossed it.
Mm-hmm.
I once said, remember when he said that you look like a prostitute
with your dad?
Remember when you did a stream and I had told you, like, you know, troll your mother a little bit. We're like a low cut. It was totally fine.
Look,
But he was like,
dress.
yeah, I was like, you look like Audrey Hepburn or Marilyn Monroe. Okay, and he said your daughter looks like a prostitute or something like that. And I said to him, you know, if you weren't my dad, I'd come over there and kick your fucking ass. Right. And then he actually was pretty nice about it. He was like, okay, yeah, like she doesn't look like a prostitute. Because I was like, she doesn't look like a prostitute. And actually, it's interesting to say someone looks like a prostitute because prostitutes generally dress like.
So that's what his dad said about Grace. Okay. I don't want to end up like Shoe Nice. Yeah, I don't want to go that direction. No, yeah. There's a line.
Women who are
drink, do it no balls.
All right. There we have that. So I will do the Mr. Black and the Jägermeister.
I mean, there is a certain like street prostitute look, but like it's generally like a high-end escort. The whole idea is that they're not able to be discerned from like a very fancy lady.
Yeah,
right. So
right.
It's really more mental to say you act like a prostitute than that you look like a prostitute.
It's a compliment. So you know what? I see my wife. I should be like, honey, you look like a prostitute. Oh, don't worry. That's a good thing. That's a compliment, honey.
I mean, usually when people say
anyway, this shot's for the 20 likes. The next one's for the $2. Thank you for the $2 there, Devoid.
they mean like a cheap street hooker with like the fake blonde and the.
No, you didn't. You looked great.
No,
except you
totally
were
fine.
embracing your womanhood, right? So.
Yeah, my tits were kind of out. I had cleavage.
Yeah.
Right. Your dad was being ridiculous.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, but it must be like I would just think it would be like soul shattering to like.
Wait, has Ben's dad seen the stream where Grace is licking her panties for Hormaxer? Because that's a classic. Now that is a classic Thorp stream right there.
violent towards your dad. Now, I'm sure in Eric's household, like there was violence on both sides, but it is different. For a dad to hit his son is very different than for a son to hit his dad, even though you could say, well, they're both men.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, unless it's warranted
And an
self-defense.
adult son is different than like a son who's underage, like who really is under your authority.
Mm.
But I always thought when your brother did what he did, like, man, can't put that toothpaste back in the tube. That's a once in a lifetime thing.
To attack your dad? Yeah.
Yeah. Physically assault your dad. Try to get.
Oh, man. All right. The Void, here we go. Thank you for the $2. This is for you. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's bad. Oh. Oh, man. Oh. But it does taste like coffee, black coffee, which is fine. I could do black coffee. It's really just black coffee and vodka.
Get him thrown in jail and then try to ruin his reputation. Like,
That's bad.
good luck with that one. Good luck not experiencing guilt for that. But
Let's get back to this mom thing, though. I'm interested. What were you saying? The last thing you said was, do you think it's okay if I ever have kids that she's never going to speak to my kids, her grandkids? And I said, no, I don't think that would be okay. Who would think that would be okay?
we can ask that. They haven't really responded.
Well, nobody in chat.
I think if that were to happen, I think she would come around just to see the grandkid. That's it. That's one of those things that's... Yeah, that's a pretty big event. You know? Anyway.
Chat, do you guys think that it's cool for a grandma to never talk to her grandkids?
Like,
who would say that?
Do you have a right? Not legally, but say like, oh.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously it depends
And Ben doesn't even acknowledge her. Like she's like behind Ben. Look at that.
The situation.
Leave aside the grandkids. Yeah, I mean, you can cut off from someone, sure, but like, what in this case has made it so that's warranted, even from her perspective? Like,
I know from her perspective what it is.
What is it?
I don't interact with her as my own person. I'm a puppet of you, and you're
Okay.
let me finish.
But wait a
You're
minute.
trying to get her in trouble and or
Hey,
humiliate
you know what
her.
I just said? I said, wait a minute.
I'm the employer here, and I said, let me finish.
Oh, Grace, continue that. Continue. Hold your ground, Grace. Do it.
Go ahead. That's what it is from her perspective.
I'm gonna pull an irk on you except with a stapler.
Let Grace talk, because Grace made more sense in that one little bit she said than you did. Ben is like the worst thing for these streams. Grace is the best thing for these streams. He just doesn't see it. He doesn't get it. You know, I often say that Ben is like the producer. He's the idea man. He is. But he doesn't understand that he's not like the guy. He's not the host. It's not the people don't come to see him. Yeah, he should just be a background guy.
Bitch, listen. No, but okay. So but if you say this, like, you're a puppet of him. Okay, what does that mean? That's incomprehensible.
I do what you
That's not incomprehensible.
tell me to do vis-a-vis her.
Okay, but the LCU says if there's anyone who talks to me, right,
Mhm.
and doesn't do exactly what they say, they said they're a puppet of me, like Pup Star, right?
Right, that's
Puppet
ludicrous.
Star. Well, why is it ludicrous? In other words, you could say this about anyone that you disagree with. You're a puppet of that other evil person. Okay, but, well, let's even say that that's true.
But she does do what you tell her to do. Like, this is so like gaslighting to use that term, you know?
why shouldn't she talk with me? I'm the father of her children.
I mean, I personally don't. I think it would be extremely unhealthy for either of you to ever talk to each other again. So I do think she's right to say like that should not happen ever again. Like she can't handle
From
it.
my point of view, yes. But from her point of view, no.
No, from her point of view, yes, as well. Like, she should not talk to you, Ben, like, ever again.
Why not?
Okay, but well, even if you say that, like, I'm so obsessed with this guy that I can't talk to him again. Okay, so then what does that have to do with you? So I brainwash you to make her obsessed with you? I mean, obsession is just unhealthiness.
No,
So
you know what it is. She cut off from you, and you've got your hand up my ass, and you're moving my mouth, basically. And I don't interact with her as my own person, so she has to cut off from me too. And she really wishes she didn't have to because the real Grace is deep inside me, but the fake Grace...
That's it, Grace. Bing, ding, 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 ding. Grace knows. How does Ben respond?
That Ben controls is the only one she ever interacts with.
Okay, so then...
Is that a cope?
But that's
yes.
necessarily... But like if one of her kids says like, I don't like the way this household is run, can't she just say, well, that's your father, you're brainwashed?
Obviously, it's a cope.
And I'm never going to talk to you again.
John stopped doing that cope. He used to say,
it's not a cope because we've seen it. Dude, watching you guys, I've literally seen it. I've seen how, like, you do his bidding. And there was times where you guys try to, like, oh, man, there's one situation where you try to trap Courtney in this situation, though. You would try to, like, what's the term? 5150 her? 5150. Yeah. That.
I'm never going to talk to you because you're just brainwashed by Ben. And then eventually he was like, okay, you're your own.
I just like watching the train wreck of their life and them trying to like figure it out. I kind of watch it like it's a soap opera. That's what it is to me.
Person, I'm going to interact with you.
But I don't understand. But like brainwashing, if brainwashing could happen, brainwashing would have happened, right? The Israelis, they've got lots of money. Sorry, anti-Semitic trope. They've got lots of money. They've got lots of influence on the media. They've got lots of power. If anyone could get brainwashed, it's people getting brainwashed. If there ever was a situation, and they don't care about what's moral or anything like that, right? Clearly, they're the ones who begin. So if brainwashing was possible, then Zionism would have employed it successfully. Okay.
What?
So there is no such thing. There are plenty of Zion. There are plenty of
You're
God.
preaching to the
Hold
choir.
on a minute. There are plenty of people raised with
shut up to Grace. Ben is talking. Let him continue to talk about how he's like y'all situation is equivalent to Israel or something. Okay. All right.
Israeli propaganda. Pushed by Israeli propaganda, like in every way, by their family, their friends, everyone around them, to buy this narrative, who have looked at the narrative, looked at the history and said, it's bullshit. It's propaganda. It's a lie. And there's no way the Zionists have not found a way to overcome that. If they did, they would do it.
True.
Okay.
What do you mean they haven't? What do you mean they haven't? It's not United States of America, dude. It's the United States of Israel, dude. What do you mean they haven't? Man. Anyway.
So when you can use a term like propaganda, okay, or influence, but then that is only somewhat of a force. Okay, so then if she has a better, how do you contradict propaganda? How do you what do they call it?
Like Grace was so close. If Grace just had more of a spine, if right. I'm gonna go ahead and skip ahead a little bit. Let's see. The next thing they talk about is, this does not look like LA riots to me. It's an LA guy. His name is Patience, but it's not the riots. I don't think they mentioned the LA riots at all. Grace lied. Grace is a liar. Grace is the one who titled the stream. Thoughts on the LA riots. Not a thought at all. What's the comments? Let's see. Traditional rose 1. Nice. Before the first 10 minutes in the stream, Ben is holding up his fist, taunting Grace to say something again, or he'll punch her. Ben wins Father of the Year once again. Grace, drop your loser father. Oh, and moving in with Adam, a serious alcoholic, will be a horrible situation. Not horrible like you can film everything for content and laugh. Horrible like one or both of you will end up in jail. And Fed Up Southern Girl says, you suggesting what everyone else has said to her for years is adorable. Also giving her advice. Alcoholics, that is useful in thinking they care. They just see it as content. And I say let them, because you can't stop them. They'll just do what they want to do, right? Absolutely they will. So I say, Ben, Grace, just set up a camera in that apartment. Make it a Ben Thorp fish tank sort of situation. And donations may pour in. Now, I'll tell you what, I might throw a donation in if the contents is that spicy. Oh, man. Just say you got $1 from me, a hater. Oh, that'd mean a lot. So we'll listen to a little bit of the patient's part. We'll see what happens here. Why are they watching patients? What's going on with this?
I said, let's see, said the blind man to the deaf lady or some shit like that.
It's like
let's see if I can't join with the good one since you finally sent the correct link.
Well, you understand the word saw is like.
All right, I'm gonna leave and come back. Hold on.
Yes.
Okay. I can see, said the blind man as he picked up his hammer and saw.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, it's a joke, Grace.
Saw is the past tense.
I don't know really what it means.
I don't really understand. Is it a joke about like he's about to saw his hand off, or?
You guys are thinking too hard on it.
Another one is I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. You
right,
scream, we all
ahead.
scream for ice
Skip
cream.
ahead.
Fuckers talking for 30 minutes straight. You're like, ugh. I mean, I don't know, because you said chemistry while he was outside. You said the chemistry takes two people.
Yeah.
And you're saying it's not working because he's bubbling and you're sitting there flat. There's no reaction. If there is a reaction, it's a positive, like, and a negative.
Wait, are they actually talking to patients?
Versus like two positives or two negatives. It's like, what's wrong with Grace? What's wrong with Grace?
I would just say in my experience of it, I don't have an active problem with him talking too much. It would just be that I put.
Okay, they're actually interacting with him. Okay.
I put a lot of pressure on myself before we stream together because I don't want it to go badly. And then inevitably that tires me out, and then I don't really focus as much, and it ends up in the same place with him saying like, you're not paying attention. I don't even know why you're here.
Wait, okay.
Help.
Okay, hold on. Go badly.
Mm-hmm.
In what sense?
Well, in the sense that the chemistry doesn't flow, or, you know, I'm not professional enough. I don't want those things to happen, and I.
Professional enough.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Even patients is like, Grace, you are professional enough for a freaking stream. What are you talking about? You know that Ethan Ralph guy still has a stream, right?
What do you mean?
Well, I think she means like just not letting personal kind of like get in the way of what we're trying to do.
Right.
If I can be completely honest, we're all here for you, and Ben talks. Like there's.
Yes. We're all here for Grace. Yet Ben talks. That's it. That's the truth. Patience is a giant douche. I know, right? Right? He did not love my song for Grace. He, for some reason, took my song as a personal offense to him. I thought about writing a song at his expense. And I thought, you know what? No. Not going to do it. He's confused.
Syncopation for sure, and Ben don't get this wrong. But like we're all
You got serious daddy issues, bro.
We're all here.
All smiles aside,
We're
bro.
all here. We're
You
all
are
here.
fucking hostile towards masculinity.
We
dude.
are
Let's
all
get real
here
for a second. You can keep talking over me like a bitch, but like, all right, that's not.
Dang, that's all it took. That's all it took was, all right, well, Grace, there you have it. There's the answer right there.
Yeah, the answer is
there you have it. Yeah, that's all it took to fire up Ben.
Right there.
the answer is not
You got it right
to be
there.
hostile. Like, I'm not your daddy,
Hostile.
so like put that
Hostile
on the side,
towards
bro.
you.
Yeah, you're a
turned
hostile
up.
towards masculinity.
You're turned
Prove me
up.
wrong.
You're turned up. Hostile towards masculinity.
Look, dude, you're so fucking insulting. Right to my
How?
fucking face.
How?
Let's face it, the reason we're here, I've done this for 2.5 years. Let's face it, Grace, the reason we're here is for you, and Dad's just babbling. Hey, fuck you. How about that?
But that's the truth, Ben. Take a back seat. Take a back seat. Your streams, if you're running it, are going nowhere. And honestly, me reacting to your streams, just your streams, has a short lifespan. It's going to be the Ricada show. Okay? It's going to be the Ricada and the whatever is the new drama show. I'm going to have to move on. If the tree isn't producing fruit, gotta move on. And you don't produce it by yourself. You can't.
You're such a fucking asshole. Go smoke fucking weed.
Yo!
Fucking loser.
Well, you're just making her more nervous. I was trying to reinforce the fact that she has to do nothing to be professional.
You talk to your father that way, and you fucking deserve it, dude. How about that, maybe?
You
what a fucking prick.
Sealed it.
Jeez, look how angry Ben got. Ben got so angry because of that. We're all here because of you, Grace. Not Ben. Look at Grace's face. Look at that. Is she crying? She knows that's true. She has to know that's true. The best part about the LA trip was that Ben was hardly there for a while, right? And then when Ben was there, it was kind of like a background. He had a couple moments that were highlights, yeah. But it's really about Grace.
The deal.
Right.
You sealed the
Don't
deal.
talk about Allah. You
Man, you're a victim.
No, you're not. You're not.
You're a victim.
You're a bitch.
You're a victim, ain't you?
You're a bitch, ain't you?
You're a
Wipe
victim.
that fucking smile off your face. Okay,
You're a
no one
victim.
believes your
You
bullshit.
love that. You love it. You love it.
Roll
You're a
a
victim.
fucking pair. Look, let's go. Let's put the gloves on, okay? Be a man for 5 fucking seconds. Put the weed down. Put your bullshit down. Put your fake smile down, and apologize for fucking insulting me.
Oh, even his chat started with him. Ben is the biggest victim. Triggered. Ben is a victim. Hard R likely incoming.
Well, I mean, are you going to apologize for addressing me like I'm your son? Because I'm not.
Oh.
I'm not addressing you like you're my son. I'm addressing you as a man to a man. And I'm saying that was
I don't
fucking
think men.
insulting.
I don't think men address each other with this level of like, you know, like the whole thing about masculinity is
because
having
you
control of
don't-
yourself.
You don't have. No, it isn't about controlling yourself. You're a fucking musician. All right, let's go here. You're a musician. Is it all about not having emotions? Is that right? It is for your music, because your music is just major chord, major chord, major chord. You don't actually know anything about music.
No, I
I'm sure he knows more about music than you do, Ben.
Yeah, Habibi. No,
Okay, so is that okay? So you have this
Grace.
idea of masculine. You're a red pill.
Grace, your
Oh, now
level of
talk to the woman, right? Talk to the woman.
professionalism
Just like you
is
used to with your
fire.
mother, right? Just like you used to with your mother. Hey, mom.
Your
hey,
level
mom.
of professionalism
No,
is fine.
no, we're talking to dad
Don't
right
trip.
now. We're talking to a
Don't
man
trip.
right now.
Dad, I'm gonna get to you. I'm gonna get to you, Dad. I'm gonna get to you, Dad.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
fuck
get to
yourself.
you.
Fuck
I know you want me to come out of
Let's get
character,
to it
but
right
the devil
now.
ain't gonna
Let's get to it
win.
right now. Let's get to it right now.
We're in the devil ain't gonna win, dude. Devil ain't gonna win. You want me to try to dig into you like how you dig into me?
The devil? What? Having like exploring some negative emotions? You just did
Yeah,
it.
bro.
You're about to get clocked by me. So you got it. Now what? What's up? Yeah, laugh, 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 laugh. Don't get the weed.
Dude,
Don't
the
get the weed. Don't
fire
roll it.
here.
Don't roll it. Right? Yep, I need a joint. So what's up?
Oh my goodness, man.
Hey, I give you credit. You came out fucking swinging.
Dude, this is hotter than the LA riots, dude.
Oh shit, went out the door, right? All right, you came out swinging. I let you take a couple of swings, but at the third one, it's like, nigga, no, I'm calling this out. So what's up?
I ain't got it. I ain't got to do nothing, man. That's the whole thing. Like when you get energy out of me, that's lucky for you. I don't got it. I don't got it. All the things that you do that are fucked, I don't have to address it because God's got it, and it's also recorded. So It is what it is. You
So
can
if I
grow.
say
You
that
can
was
grow
really
from
healthy-
hatred. You can grow from hatred if you'd like to. That's very Catholic. I don't know. I have no idea. You got the cross in the background. Sounds very. You sound very godly over there. How you're addressing me.
Yeah, it's very Christian to grow from hatred.
The bitch energy here. Mama's gonna preach. Mama's gonna preach. Okay, go
I'm
ahead.
not about to turn up. I'm not about to turn up on you.
Let me know. Let me know.
I don't want the police called. I'm near people, so I'm gonna sit here and stay diplomatic with your hype self, man. I'm gonna stay diplomatic with you.
Called?
This is how I'm moving.
For you being honest?
My little spot. I'm not fixing to turn out this door.
All right, let me know when the speech is over.
Wait. Stay on.
Can you let me speak?
Let's stay on headphones for a second.
Can you let me speak or?
All right. 5 for you to stay.
Wait.
Oh, Ben just rage quit. Oh, Ben is bouncing.
Did he
Just
leave?
put the headphones back on. He'll give 5 subs.
Okay.
Okay. Now both of you be quiet just for 1 second. Patience, will you admit that it's obviously insulting to say to my father, who's been streaming with me and actually brought me into streaming for the past 2 years, to say nobody's here to see you and everybody's here to see Grace? Can you admit that's insulting to say?
Yes.
Okay, so you admit that you insulted him to his face publicly. You admit
No,
that.
I think that it is insulting to say that, but I didn't mean it to be insulting. I was really just trying to gas you up and make you understand that you're not unprofessional and that you should just live in the moment and not worry about having it correctly. And I was just trying.
That's it. Live in the moment, Grace. You're too afraid to live in the moment. Because if you do, your dad might slap you.
Trying to gas you up with it, but somebody's ego got hurt. Obviously, you two are an aesthetic. I've already said that. But you want to bring me on here and bring? I know the delivery was terrible.
No, wait. That's not the only thing that you said that was insulting. And if you want to take it back, that's fine. If you want to say like I spoke out of turn or I didn't mean it, that's fine. But you said, here's my theory, and you said I don't know, but you said, okay, Ben talks too much, and that's why you're sad. That's not insulting.
Yes, Ben, you talk way too much. You never shut up.
That's also insulting. Yeah.
That's not insulting.
Yeah, that's insulting.
It's insulting, but it's true. The truth is hurting your feelings.
All the air out of the room.
But I thought that's how the Thorp world worked in chat. I thought that's what we do is insult each other. I didn't think this was a bring your best self type of chat, right? That's not in the chat rules, right?
If you just want to say like I'm just talking shit, okay, that's no problem. If you're just saying like, okay, that's just banter.
Of course, I'm talking shit. I'm talking shit to make you daughter feel better about the situation.
Dude, that's the thing too about this. Ben is being burned by Patience. Patience, I don't know Patience as a shit talker.
And trying to get some flow and chemistry with you.
By insulting her father?
I mean, sometimes you gotta do it. She ain't gonna do it.
Look, if you're, I don't understand. Really... Are you talking shit like in a sense of banter, or you're saying like I genuinely mean that, or I was just saying that to make Grace feel better, or what?
Sometimes it gotta be somebody else to say it.
To say what?
That's right.
Whatever it might be in the family that need to be said, bro.
Why would it make?
Sure,
why would it make
problem.
you feel better to insult him? I wasn't insulting.
That's
him.
no problem. If you genuinely see it that way, then fine. But that's like a really, really edgy take. But okay.
Well, you know.
But hey, look,
no, hold on a second.
Okay. I feel like I kind of just walked into a what's it called? Motherfucking Egyptian pyramid.
You just dug your own grave.
And then I hit the left instead of the right, and all the booby traps went off.
The ones you set for yourself, yes.
Yeah, by my decision to take a left instead of right.
You had a bunch of landmines and then you fell on them. That's true.
I said that Patience was a bit of a bullshit artist before he joined the stream.
Yeah.
So that's me talking shit. He's more than welcome to talk shit to me
He
or to
can
you.
say-
But wait, can I just say like trying to portray it as trying to make me feel better when you were just insulting him straight to his face is some kind of pussy shit.
Well, no, I don't think that's true at all. I think
okay.
Grace, I think when there's tension between two people, some people want to make the person who's like, especially someone who's crying, feel better by like saying fuck that person who's making you cry. I don't think that's unusual.
Okay, if that's
but I just
legit,
don't really
on.
think that's what's going on here.
If that's legit what he was doing, then okay.
Can I have some air?
Yeah.
All right. Met y'all about a month ago, right?
A little longer than that, I think. Now.
Yeah, 5 weeks maybe.
Always remember. I told y'all off top what I thought about your aesthetic, and I told you I'll talk about what I think about this whole shit. And I've been in the chat before, and I said what I think about this whole shit.
And what is it? What is it? How would you characterize that?
It's an aesthetic of dad and daughter, and everybody likes that shit. Off top, when you guys checked into the Banana Bungalow, I said you two just look nice to look at because it's a classic American thing.
Yeah,
big white dad, sweet white daughter, classic American aesthetic. It's great, right? And you with your shorts and your fucking button ups and your hats, classic. So I already said that. I already tooted.
That's a weird perspective. Okay.
And in the moment, hold on. I can feel it coming. I even gotta look at you. I can feel it coming. Hold on. In the moment, I tooted.
Ben is the classic American
father. Hold on, wait. I apologize, Ben. That was a little bit airheaded and aloof. to say that oh, we're just here for Grace. Your dad just rambles. If you're gonna narrate it like that, that didn't come out of my mouth. If you're gonna narrate it like that,
yeah, we're all watching this because of the family daughter, the wholesome family daughter, all American dynamic, right? The very American family daughter dynamic. Yes.
I must apologize and say
that's a non-apology. Okay, you're saying
that's a non-apology.
I'm sorry, you're offended. That's exactly what you're saying.
No, that's not what I said. That would be very narcissistic to say. I said that was very.
Hey, Paranormal Drama Llama. Hey, you have a good night, man. Hey, you take it easy, man.
I said I was very aloof, and I apologize for saying that. Like I apologize. I'm not gonna sit here and try to say I'm sorry that I offended you or I apologize for saying that. Bit. Feel better.
Oh yes, I did catch that, Adam, a PDL. Yeah, that was early on in the stream. If that happens, that would be well, it's definitely gonna be content. Is what I'll say about that. I don't think it's gonna work well for Adam.
I apologize.
Fuck you.
If I can,
here's your fucking apology. Stick up your fucking ass.
You love that.
Asshole. You fucking asshole. You're such a fucking asshole.
Hey man, you're gonna have to. You and I both. We're gonna
Fuck
have to.
You. That's the worst apology. That's the worst fucking apology I've ever heard in my fucking life. Fuck you.
You the devil.
God damn it, Jesus Christ. Try something better.
You should move to LA.
I have daddy.
You should leave the Thorp tube behind.
Such an asshole.
And live your life and get around young people and just like. People, not stupid young people, just
Grace is smiling now. She knows it's true.
A little bit more
brings her happiness
with the time. Maybe we could put you on or something. Who knows?
I don't know what you're talking about. This is vague hippie talk. Yo, man, someday you gonna get with young
rather than like having this like
talking about. Try English. You were raised in America. Try English. Make a sentence. No marijuana talk.
Man, you're doing it for yourself. Don't forget to follow Big Patience on Kick and YouTube and Insta and all that. We're making records out here in LA. High vibrations, not responding to the devil, busting devils in their mouth every day. You know what I'm saying? By keeping it cool when they want us to. When they want us to turn up, we only turn up when we want to turn up.
Every fucking joint you put in your mouth, you're sucking that devil's dick.
All right,
fucking love it, man. You're a fucking devil dick sucker.
That's
man. If smoking a joint means you're sucking devil dick, well, then I deep throat devil dick.
The mirthless laughter of a loser.
You can't stand the happiness.
You said you're bullshit. You can't stand that.
You can't stand that and make you insecure about your health, your physique. You can't stand that. I don't have to blow hard. I don't have to throw like giant rocks. I can just throw tiny ones at your stomach and you'll fall over. It's fucking hilarious. You want me to go deep? I told you,
dude. How is patience burning through bins so easy? It is like. So funny, like Patience is there. He's like just being funny with it. It's not even hard to do. He's just being honest and telling him how it is in a kind of a weird way. Definitely a stoner musician sort of way. I don't really get the Muslim angle, you know. I don't understand that. Never met a stoner Muslim before. You know, but it's funny how Ben is crumbling to this guy and just raging.
The strain I smoke is Daddy OG from my daddy issues. You know what I'm saying? And that's 100.
Daddy,
you know what I mean?
Daddy OG. You suck his dick.
It's pathetic.
Thank you so much for the $2 devoid. Do I have to take a shot of the? Well, that's the terms, huh?
You suck the devil's dick. Yes.
Perfect.
You got the perfect strain. Perfect.
Hey man, I think I'm gonna have to go live on my shit. You know how to do it.
You're not man enough to sit here.
You want to insult religion.
Your bullshit.
I laid out my terms. I'll do one more shot. It's coffee, so it will get me going a little bit.
You want to insult my religion? And you be careful, bro. You be
I
careful.
have a lot of respect for Islam.
All jokes aside, all stream stuff aside, everything aside, be careful with how you address it. Because I'm a peaceful guy. Somebody's gonna feel some type of way, and that's messed up. That's messed up. Both sides.
So red in the face.
That's exactly what the devil told me a long time ago, and I almost believed him, man. But God is good.
Yeah, right. Whenever someone fucking tells me I'm a loser, I say it's Islamophobia. Fuck you. Go riot on the streets. Islamophobia. I'm a victim. Shut the fuck up. No one thinks you're a fucking Muslim. No one thinks
I don't think I've ever seen Ben this angry, other than angry at Grace. Grace is enjoying this, isn't she? Oh man, this is the best way to end this stream here. Oh, in a way, I am so glad that they not talk about the LA riots. We got this. This was worth it.
Did you have any devotion to God whatsoever?
It doesn't matter.
You worship, you stick in your mouth what you call Daddy OG, which is the devil's fucking weed. That's what marijuana used to be called. The devil's grass. Take it out of your mouth for a day and then come talk.
It was only called the devil grass because because certain lobbyists wanted to make sure marijuana is illegal. Okay? Hemp. Okay? The only reason why it's a Schedule I drug is bullshit in the first place. There's all sorts of great documentaries on it that you can check out. Everyone knows. If it's in this time, in this day and age, if you still buy into like the weed is like the worst thing ever and it's the devil's lettuce, or you actually buy into that, you're a complete idiot. You're a tool. You believe the propaganda from your own government, you believe all that nonsense. It's bullshit. Let me tell you something. Jesus would have smoked weed. He wouldn't give a shit. Never once in the Bible did he say, don't smoke weed. You know what? They're probably smoking weed then. Hey, it's natural. It grows on the ground like that. You can just roll it up and smoke it. What do you think the burning bush was? What do you think Moses was doing? What do you think the burning bush was, dude? He was burning some weed, man. He was smoking some weed. Man, if I smoke some weed, I hear good shit. I think I hear God talking to me. Ben could use some weed. We need to send a team of kidnappers to get Ben, and we're going to gas him up with some pure 420. That's the operation we're going to fund here.
Talk to me. Take it out.
Grace, stop hanging out with boomers. Hang out with people your age, Grace. Stop hanging out with boomers that say words marijuana. Stop. That shit is not good for you. It's not good and healthy for you either way. Whether you're kidding or not, being in the negativity.
29-year-old loser.
Definitely don't smoke weed, right? Because we don't want to make things more complicated. But you want to get away from toxicity for sure. Doing this longly will probably affect your mental health in your life.
You don't belong on the internet. Go away. You don't belong on the internet. Right. You're too good for the internet. You're too good for the internet. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're on the internet telling people to get off the internet. That makes a lot of sense.
I never said that. I never said get off the internet. I just said get away from you. Get away from rambling.
Right.
Dad. I take back my apology, rambling dad.
Who's making the fucking content right now?
I take back my.
Actually, the content's being made by Patience. Patience is cooking the content. You're the one being cooked, Ben. Look at you. You're red, dude. You're being cooked.
My apology, rambling father that just won't let his
there
daughter
was
leave
no
that thing grow.
Manipulation.
It was
here. There was no apology because look at you, man. You're not worth an apology.
Right.
You're not worth an apology.
Right. But it's a pussy shit to like fake apologize.
No, whatever. I took it back. I apologize.
You're a pussy.
Kind of like how you took back the apology with Ruby.
Apologize. I took it back. You're disrespectful.
Dude, are you even aware of how social skills work?
You're disrespectful and just projecting a bunch of shit for content. There's no real talent to really like farm besides talking shit and conflicting with others.
Can I make a suggestion? I'll take a break. You talk to Grace. Okay.
Yeah, you know that's what's gonna happen, Dominator. Yes, sir, Dominator Dad.
You can't handle being on with me. You're looking for ways to get off. I'm gonna have to do my own thing.
Dominator Dad. Now that's a new song. Okay. Maybe this weekend I'll record a new song. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see if the muse is speaking to me.
I will remember you. Hey guys,
Talk about man. Talk about being a man in review and stuff. I wish I could see you. I'd probably be laughing harder if I was tapping in.
Oh wait, hang on. Damius did pay 25 to keep you here. He said you have to stay.
You gotta stay. Don't run away.
I'll be back in a minute. All right.
Nah, come nick out with me. No, more nicotine withdrawal with me. Please stay. More
Damius,
nicotine withdrawal.
he got his content. He got his content.
So no more
I
nicotine
wanted
withdrawal.
to say
Hey, I'll go whatever direction you want to go in.
5 minute
It's fine.
break. 5 minute break. Damius has released you. Thank you, Damius.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. It'll give him a little time to regroup.
Wade in the water.
You know you're attacking.
Damius is cracking that whip.
But let me just suggest this. Let me suggest this. It's not because I'm older than you. I'm suggesting this. That went off the rails. I think we could get it back on the rails. I think you showed me a tremendous amount of respect up to that point, and I have to you too. I'd like to see it get back on the rails, but I mean, I'm not gonna. I think we both have to, get to a different place.
I mean, you gotta apologize too, man. You can't address motherfuckers like that and just think that like switching the narrative is gonna be whatever. You obviously are in control of the narrative, so it's up to you. Obviously, are we attacking me or are we having peace with me? Because I've already told you my point, and whether you want to call that a lie or not, call that bullshit. I don't know. I'm just adapting. I'm here for you guys. Damius wanted me here. I'm here. You're here to pop my shit.
I think the reason that he responded to your insult with insults. So I would say,
I mean,
understandable.
that was hella. That was like, I don't know, bro.
Well, you said something to be insulting on purpose. You said that you did. I don't know if that's true.
But it's the truth, Grace.
Y'all take that whole turn up shit and the disrespect, man. There's levels of like doing it without like, being like truly offensive.
Let me try.
I feel like the way that I did it was a roast.
Okay, let me try to be the middle child here. I think that
Patience wasn't even trying to roast Ben. He was just saying the truth. We're here for Grace, not for Ben, and Ben just keeps on talking. He didn't even say it that way. He said, we're here for Grace, and Ben just keeps talking. That's the way he said it.
it's very typical, especially since you have admitted you have daddy issues. It's very typical for people when they see me crying and having issues. And because my dad is sort of a dominant presence in my life. No, let me finish.
Go ahead.
People to say, I feel bad for her. You know, maybe she should get out of the house, get some more perspective. Her dad's kind of like, maybe he's a nice guy, but he's too controlling. It's very common for people to see it that way. Okay. Very common. And like, so I'll give you
why.
I'll give you the out of saying like, maybe this is true. You were just saying like, okay, I see it this way and I want to make her feel better because she's being hard on herself and she doesn't see that she has, you know, she can chill and just enjoy herself. So I'll kind of roast her dad to take her off the hook. Is that what happened?
Exactly what happened. Exactly what happened. I do have to address though.
Okay.
My daddy issues are 100% like healed up, not like bleeding wounds. I think I've already spoken to you personally that I've had therapy and done a lot of shit and do a lot of shit regularly to keep those quote daddy issues like, you know, daddy solutions. You feel me? I don't look at myself as somebody with daddy issues. I look at myself as somebody with a traumatic background, but I've healed up and my narrative isn't woe is me. You know what I'm saying? There's no like
totally opposite from Grace. Grace could learn from Patience.
Daddy, ain't none of that's really going on. I'm a grown ass man. But other than that, everything you said was 100% correct. Like
that's interesting. That's interesting because I want
to go against that and say that I do have that.
No, I'm actually saying
I'm on defense mode now because I've been attacked like brutally through like verbal abuse.
Okay,
my friend.
You were also being
my religion, and my manhood, all that shit just like attacked.
Okay,
you know?
Okay. I mean, he wasn't critiquing Islam. He was critiquing your particular faithfulness to that. My dad respects Islam, but whatever.
My faith.
Okay, yes, your personal faith, yes. But listen. I was gonna say that this is actually what we were talking about earlier because I also say like, no, I think I'm pretty much healed from my mom. And you'd have to admit, anyone looking at the two of us, we're both here sitting here saying like, we have a certain parent in our lives that we've healed from the trauma from them, and yet obviously.
No, Grace is not healed from her mom. She's not healed from her mom. No.
Things are somewhat dysfunctional in my life and somewhat dysfunctional in your life. You know what I mean? It's very common to want to say that you got over something.
No, I'm 32 and you're 22, dude.
True.
Like, there's a bunch of development character-wise that you're going to do in the next 8 years, and by the time you're 30, you'll pull up and be like, "This is me." Versus now, you're like,
"Okay." Don't condescend to me though, because you have no job. You're basically homeless. You grift off of the banana bungalow. You smoke weed every day, and you.
Grace, you have no job either. You have no job. You live with your dad. You're dependent on him. And who cares if he smokes weed? A lot of people smoke weed. A lot of successful people smoke weed.
Don't have an album. Like, give me a break. Don't condescend to me.
All right, Grace.
Don't condescend to me. You condescended to me. No, you're being passive aggressive and then saying you're being peaceful. There's a difference.
No, you're 20. You're 22.
Yeah, you're being condescending though.
What did I say that was condescending?
Oh, once you get to my age, you'll know what I'm talking about. Like, dude, you don't really have it figured out either. I'm trying to bridge the gap. And
Never did I.
I'm 8 years older than you. I get it. Not really, dude.
I think that being 8 years older than you makes me have a little bit of a leg up on my traumas.
8 years older and therapy and a bunch of other stuff he's been through to kind of heal from his wounds. Things that Grace is not going to even consider to be important.
Just 100%.
Maybe,
dealt with them longer.
Maybe.
I actually dealt with them for 30%, longer time. Not 30%.
Maybe.
50%.
Okay, I don't know that.
50, half of your life now I've spent as an adult, where you get what I'm saying? Where half of my life is not. It does not.
That's a good point to avoid.
Yeah, you obviously
for sure.
had more experience. Yeah,
I'm definitely big bro, and to just dismiss any sort of wisdom by narrating some negative brokey image of me is.
I'm not
you.
dismissing.
You can value this, or you can value this.
I'm not even saying you're poor. I'm poor. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not dismissing any wisdom you have, but I would say overall, I don't particularly respect you as a font of wisdom. I don't. I think you're a good time guy, and you can be fun to hang around, but I don't particularly respect you as a font of wisdom. No. And that's fine. Who needs me to? Who needs me to?
Fine.
Probably not many people hold you in that regard. You don't really want to be somebody who's held in that regard, right?
Yeah, and just whatever is not true, keep saying it. That's a vibe.
See, now you're being passive aggressive. Why don't you just say what you mean? You're upset. What is it? What are you upset about?
I'm just letting you speak at this point because you guys are in control of the narrative and you guys want to make it engaging and keep people here and shit. And the only way that you can is by arguing with people and poking at them versus expressing real talent like singing or dancing or being nice or shining a light in society and being nice to strangers and shit. That's not what y'all do. You guys.
That's it. All they can do is be negative like that. Yeah.
Talk shit in a room to others. And that's cool. If you want to lay it out and if you want to lay it out and have fun with it, I'm right here for it.
Hey, can I say something? Can I say something?
Call me passive. That's fine.
No, I'm not saying passive.
Yeah, I'm done.
Passive aggressive.
He's matching Grace's passive aggressive.
Yes, passive aggressive. You're extremely.
I thought passive aggression was like, this like.
No. Passive aggressive is like a girl saying like, "Oh my God, that dress looks so good on you. I'm so glad you lost all that weight. God," or I don't know, like, "I'm so glad you got a haircut. It looks way better." It's being rude and mean without openly being aggressive. That's you do that all the time.
Oh, that's called being catty, though.
Yes, you are being catty. Yes, you are.
I'm being catty by telling you the truth. I'm not swaying. I'm not saying anything like nice to you about. I'm addressing what you're doing. I think you're the catty one. You're the girl here.
When you say like, "No, go ahead, just keep telling lies." No, that's fine. That's being catty. That's very passive aggressive. I mean, it's kind of aggressive, but it's also kind of passive aggressive.
No,
catty. Why don't you just say you're lying instead of saying that? No, go ahead, keep lying. That's fine. I don't care. That's catty.
I think it's at peace. I think it's at peace.
And Grace, you do that too.
Catty to act like that. You're saying that's at peace. I'm saying what you call peaceful is passive aggressiveness, and like, okay, I don't really respect that in a man. Just tell me what you think honestly, bro. It's not a big deal, though. All I said, you said, my dad's ego got insulted. All I said was I don't particularly respect your wisdom. That's all I said. And you said, "Oh, you're talking lies, whatever." I'm being honest.
All right, you don't respect my wisdom. Okay.
Not particularly, no, but I appreciate that sometimes you know things more than me because you're like 8 years older than me.
Okay. You're 24?
The original, no, I thought you were 30.
I'm 32.
Oh, okay. So you're 10 years older than me. I think that the original thing, you said the original thing was that you were trying to make me feel better by kind of dissing my dad. Can we agree on that? That's what you were originally trying to do? And maybe it came out the wrong way? Because I appreciate that. If that's true, that's nice. That shows that you
I already said that was true.
Okay, so maybe it came out the wrong way. Because I'm telling you, honestly, a lot of people. Okay, Dad, Patience feels that you insult.
Hold on.
He feels. Can I just tell you?
Hold on a second.
Go ahead.
If you wanted to gas Grace up, why didn't you say, "Grace, you're a beautiful, talented young woman"?
Because this is like the toxic ass little like Thorpcast thing. That's not what we do here.
Okay, so you understand what's happening. He was trying to be like roasty and like.
Okay. If we're doing banter, then you got what you got coming.
I would agree on that. Like that's what you get. You come with fire, you get the fire.
I wasn't looking for that, but
okay. You try that with us. This Patience, this chill. Everybody knows. Patience don't. It's all right. Everybody knows. It's not.
What Patience learned right here, he cannot be honest with the Thorps. He cannot tell them the truth. Right? That's what Patience learned. That Ben can't handle the truth. Grace can't handle the truth. Is that fair enough?
Everybody knows. Patience don't be getting like that.
Well, you said you did it because you thought.
Nah, I roasted you so slightly. Shut up. What the fuck? I roasted you so slightly, and you attacked my face. And
that's right. It was the slightest of burns. But Ben can't take that. Ben, you talk too much. We're here for Grace.
And all that stuff. That's okay.
Okay. No, it's not okay.
Give the people what they want, man. Give the people what they want.
No. You said you were giving the people what they want, right? You were.
Yeah, but I mean, dude,
okay.
at what level of there's a fine line. Come on, man.
Well, you called me the devil.
I mean, after you acted like it.
Okay, so it's fine to say things like that, then, right? Like, you got to figure out whether, look, in a certain way, outside of the streamer world, you can be protected by etiquette. Within the streamer world, it's a little rawer by the nature of it. Okay, are you being respectful or disrespectful?
I'm being respectful. I am.
No, you're not.
I'm expressing your words.
I'm being respectful.
I'm expressing your words into
If we get anyone else, you're being disrespectful. Obviously, you're mocking.
No, I'm putting it right here.
Okay, this is too easy.
This is hippie. This is hippie energetic.
You're gonna get it 6 ways from Sunday. Every time you show up, I'm gonna serve your ass on a fucking platter because it's too easy. But if you want to do that, let's do it. You're my Lalo. Let's go. Let's go.
And do what exactly? Are you boxing or something or what?
I'm chill. I don't got issues. Bullshit. Shit. You're 32 years old. You don't got a job. You don't got a woman. You don't got kids. And you ain't.
Ben, you're like in your 50s. You don't have a job, dude. You're living in what? This studio apartment thing that you're not even supposed to be living in? It's not even really it's like a studio that they use for this little setup. They're technically not supposed to sleep in this thing, but whatever. Your family has fallen apart because the things you've done with your daughter and stuff. You've lost your marriage. You lost your kids. Yeah. But Ben is success, right? Ben is success.
I don't got issues. Bullshit. You're 32 years old. You don't got a job. You don't got a woman. You don't got kids. And you ain't never going to get any one of those three. How about that?
Big patience.
Big pussy. Big, precious pussy.
Ooh. Talk to me nice.
Why should I?
Let's keep talking about the good things in life.
Mirthless laughter. Mirthless laughter. Reality. You don't like it, do you? You don't like reality, do you?
Dude. Bro.
This is good for you.
Ever since I bought my Azerbaijan Tech T-shirt, I've been like farming Goonscape coins through Web3 blockchain development, and the only way to get that is by going to Six in San Pedro and.
So now he's changing the conversation. Patience is he doesn't want to engage with Ben's stupidity.
An Iranian passport from this Azerbaijan Tech CEO, and I'm telling you, ever since then, like that's truly what gives it peace. I know it looks like it's because I smoke weed, but I'm telling you,
okay.
The Azerbaijan
You're
Tech.
saying you got a Azerbaijanian T-shirt from a guy
Azerbaijan Tech,
and you got an Iranian passport.
I bought an Iranian passport, and that's the only way you can get the Azerbaijan Tech T.
What?
And it farms Goonscape coins on Web3
I don't understand
blockchain
any of that
development. It's sick. That's why I'm so relaxed.
You're not relaxed. You're agitated. Look at you. That's agitated, mirthless laughter. You're not relaxed at all.
Patience is so weird.
Hey, and you brought it on yourself, so here we go.
Don't forget to get your Azerbaijan Tech tees, dude. Get your Azerbaijan Tech tees. Real peace comes when you can farm Goonscape coins.
You know, and all your stuff about crypto, everything, you're a broke ass N-word. You are broke.
Dude, Ben, we could say that about you.
Ass N-word. You don't know shit about finance. And this crypto stuff is not, you sat there and told me all about crypto. Do you know who does that? Morons, brokies, losers.
Oh, hold on. Is God calling me? Did you say don't fall for it? Oh, okay, I got you. Oh, you saying Ben, my bad.
Okay. God called you?
Patience.
What did you say, Ben, my bad?
How is that not true? Why don't you say that's not true? I've made a lot of money by doing whatever the fuck it is you're talking constantly about doing. But do you not admit that a lot of people who talk about crypto are loser brokies? It's like
he's not going to
like the number one thing they talk about.
It's so true. We're all broke. only like 5% of the people who actually like are involved or talk about this shit make money. It's true. Okay. Azerbaijan Tech T-shirts though are real, and they're
I don't know what that means. I don't think anyone knows what that means or how that's relevant.
I agree with Ben there. No one knows what that means
to anything.
I just want you to go on Instagram Reels and look up Azerbaijan Tech.
Oh, that's true. Oh yeah, I think my other eye is getting kind of blurry. Uh-oh. The eye herpes is going to the other eye now. Ben is a huge racist and usually tries to hide it, but it is always there. That is true.
Why should I?
Because it's hilarious, Ben. You might laugh. Do you ever laugh? Or are you
You think you
constantly
laugh.
attacked? Are you constantly into the whole like? "Grr." Is that it? Is that
I'm
all?
basically a comedian on the internet. So
You don't laugh.
I don't laugh.
You don't laugh in a state of joy. You laugh in a state of
I don't laugh like this. I don't laugh like this. Right?
I know it hurts. It hurts people. It hurts people's souls. It hurts people's souls when
I
motherfuckers
laugh.
are happier than them.
Such as like pretty much this entire conversation. But I also do care about you as a person.
Oh,
And-
that's sweet, Ben.
Okay, you can mock that.
That's sweet. Damn, I can't see. It's like the world's so fucked up. Motherfucker can't agree with motherfucker without it being the. It's crazy. I tried to agree at least like 10 times and it's been turned into cattiness.
No, dude. Oh my God. You're such a child. Your apology was the opposite of an apology, and you saying that's sweet was mocking me. I'm just saying I care about you. It's fine. You can mock that. I'm not
sorry.
saying I would go to the ends of the earth to help you. I wouldn't. But like,
I'm sorry I can't be good enough for you, Ben. I'm sorry I can't be good enough for you. I'm sorry, bro.
Who said you're not good enough for me?
I think that's a you thing, not me.
I said I care about you. How's that saying you're not good enough for me?
I think I have a tolerance for this type of thing.
Chat, do you think Ben cares about patients?
You don't or do?
I do. This is why it takes like, it's like, you know,
What type?
I'll spaz out. There's a lot of people around me. There's these two people in front of me, like having a whole like business oriented professional conversation. I'm
And?
not trying to go turn up. We ain't finna
And
act
for
a
what?
fool. We ain't finna act a fool. I just like to see what's
Yeah,
going
you're
on.
not going to create a violent like situation. Obviously,
Yeah, I ain't fixing it.
right? We're on the internet. We're on the internet.
I know, but I got a big voice. I got a big voice.
I don't think they care.
Mm.
Okay, well, you can say what you don't have to.
Hey, this
yell
stuff
and
is
scream
this stuff
to
is
be
working.
nasty if you want to be nasty.
This stuff is working. No, but being nasty isn't what we do, Habibi.
It
We
is
don't
what
we
you
don't
are
we don't
doing.
we don't let people just like, you know, slip up and be complete like disrespectful, you know, aggressors on us without holding it down.
Did the Prophet Muhammad
Peace be upon him.
Okay, peace be on his soul. Did he sometimes call people to task, including killing them? Yes. Okay. So I don't understand. We don't be. Who is we?
We can't all be like Prophet Muhammad, man. We can only try. We can only try. I need to use the restroom, bro. Hold on 1 second. Let me. Can I do that? Am I allowed to do that? Can I go pee?
Ridiculous.
Are you asking us for permission to urinate?
Okay. I think we got the most of that. I think we got the heat of that. I think Patience leaves, and I think he's gone for. And he comes back around here, but I think we got the most of that. Dead man, have you seen Ben's dick pic? No. I do not want to see that. Hello, Mackenzie. How's it going? Hey, Ray Sachs. Hey, KDF. How you guys doing? Devoid. Devoid's been pretty nice here tonight, for sure. Keister Bunny has been really cool. Still hanging out here. Hurricane Pyro, for sure. Built to Spill. My son goes, is that the fat guy? He thought he was Boogie. Wait, he's talking about me? No, I'm messing. Ben needs to stop railing his daughter and get a grip. Well, good luck on that. You know what? The highlight for this whole stream. I've been streaming for like 3 hours now. The biggest thing, two highlights. One, the first one, is that apparently Grace is going to get Adam to live in an apartment with her. All right, that's going to be big news. If that actually happens, that's going to be really cool. Be great content. I'll definitely watch that. You'll watch that. It'd be great. The other big highlight was Patience. This very kind-hearted, like, dude, the guy's like a peace and love stoner type. He's kind of an idiot. He's kind of weird, you know. But he was, with very little words, was able to make Ben irate to where he turned red like a lobster, dude. He was red. He was being cooked by a guy that simply said, Grace, we are here for you. And Ben keeps talking. That's all he said. And Ben just cannot take that. He cannot handle the truth. So, he spiraled and he seethed and got angry. And he had to leave. He had to leave. And Grace tried to be all like the middle, well, he tried to be like the middle child, she said, right? But she was being all passive and catty with him. And then she acted surprised that Patience was returning that same energy. So, chat, before we wrap up here tonight, what do you guys think of the stream? Let's see. I'm going to just go look at the chat here. Ray Sachs says, Ben can't get hard enough to penetrate. He just scissors with Grace. Okay. Hurricane Paro, you want to know how stupid OPCTE is? He had a boundary of not bringing up XP on LCR, but somehow DD is still bringing up XP on LCR. Makes sense of that. Hypocrisy. Yep, that's rich there. But as you told me earlier, it sounds like a Spicoli's still allowed to be on LCR, which is all I need to know. LCR is done. McKinsey says, who would you pick as a son, Patience or Adam? I'd pick Patience. I think I could work with Patience. I don't know if I could work with Adam. OPC loves that. I don't want to even say that word. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, the facts speak loudly, huh? Well, ladies and gentlemen, this does bring us to the end here. I want to say, I'm going to just shout out everyone I see active in the chat. Built to Spill, The Void, Greatest Ally Israel, Hurricane Paro, Manu, McKinsey, and Ray Sachs. Thanks for hanging out. A pretty long stream here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. That said, I will get some sleep for the work tomorrow. Not really. Well, I guess I could stream on Friday. But Friday night, I will be at a... if you don't know, I have another channel where I react to a lot of baby metal. That's a Japanese heavy metal sort of thing there. Okay. I'll be going to that concert in Houston. So that should be a lot of fun. Yeah, I have a whole other life, whole other channel, whole other side of me where I react to Japanese music. You probably would not think that. All right, with that said, that's pretty much it, man. Y'all take it easy. The Void, thanks for the super chats. Yeah. Anyway, that's it.